Now. Hello, hi Ellie.
Hi.
We're back finally with our life. Well, not even finally. It hasn't even been that long. We've taken longer breaks. Okay, let's put the
Yeah,
game.
there was a period where we took a really long break.
That's okay. We're at step 3. Holy shit! Let me put the game up. Where is it? I have too many sources on one scene. How's everyone's Thursday? It's an unconventional day to play our life.
Mhm.
Okay, there we go. And then, yeah, you only see the shell for now. I don't know why it does that. It's so weird. Continue. But yeah, let's get into it. We're literally at step 3. Like, we're doing the intro to step 3. Like, this is all done. Yeah, like, that's Derek's stuff, so we don't even gotta worry about that. Okay.
Yeah. And then summer ended.
And then the summer ended.
Oh shit.
There was no denying it. Today was the very last day of summer. Tomorrow, you were heading to class. Okay, so there's like an epilogue. It was a bummer. I hate going back to school. Summer been so much fun. When you thought about going back to school, it was with a sense of loss. Soon you wouldn't be able to choose how your days were spent without the school bell telling you where to be and when to be. That's so fucked. School sucks. It was with a heavy
School
heart
indeed
that you,
sucks.
that you chose your outfit for the final day of freedom. Actually, people are going back to school soon. It's September tomorrow. But on a better note, that means it's almost September. I don't know if you guys know that. That means I'm pretty sure you get a discount on your subs. So if you're not already subbed, you could throw one my way if you wanted to support, and then you weren't sure about the money. September is soon, and that goes to any of your favorite. Exactly. It goes to any of your favorite content creators. Okay, anyways. Life was going to be different. You had come to think of the summer vacation as the norm, but school sucked up the majority of the year, whereas the summer vacation was just a respite in the middle. So rather than it being different, it was kind of a return to the normal. What did your normal life really mean? You considered how fondly your mom talked about their summer vacations, or your moms talked about their summer vacations as kids. You dimly recognized that one year, the pattern of school and summer itself would be over for good. It was hard to imagine. Oh boy. You gotten distracted, one arm still out of a sleeve. You pulled it through and put your mind back to the present. This season had brought about plenty of changes of its own, like Kyra's visit, though that too was coming to an end. Oh, right, she's going home. I'm so used to her being here. This sucks. Aw. No, I like her. I'm happy I finally got to know her. She was interesting to be around. You liked how easy it was to talk to her. I feel like as a kid I would love someone like her. She's so chill and fun.
Yeah, she's super chill.
Mm-hmm. You finished dressing, which was good. Cove would be there any moment. You'd agreed to see his mom off together. Officially, the plan was that he would come over to bring you round to his house when she was ready to set off, but you both knew that you'd be hanging out for at least a little while beforehand. Kyra's visit had troubled Cove when it first happened. I remember that. It had been a sudden change, thanks to Mr. Holden's infamous tendency to surprise people, but once he was able to adjust, he'd been in a pretty good spirits with her around. It was a relief for everyone. Okay, yeah, I remember the last thing we did was we finally told Cove that his dad paid us off, or tried to pay us off to hang out with him.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we told him earlier rather than later. Imagine we got fucking, like, married.
Oh my god. That would have been...
Dude. Okay, there was a little dust speck moving around. I thought there was something in the painting moving and it scared the shit out of me. But it's just these, like, 2 dust specks.
The details.
It's so good. The next thought that crossed your mind was... it would only be polite to get the door for Cove. You went downstairs to wait. You could wait to see Cove. Eat the dust. Wait, maybe I can make it. Hold on. 1 second. Me. Oh, I had me for a second. Ow. Fuck, my legs are gone. Don't worry about that. Don't even worry. Okay. You couldn't wait to see Cove. You went downstairs to meet him when he arrived. You bounded down the stairs, your hand gliding over the rail. You wanted to make sure you got there first. If you didn't hurry, your moms might answer it. It was only a few minutes later when the doorbell rang. As you'd chosen to stand beside it to wait for Cove, there was no delay in pulling it open. Why, Leg, I worry. It's okay. I'm okay. I totally have legs. Cove was there just as you'd expected. Seeing you, he flashed you a bright grin.
Hey.
That's fine. Sorry, he already said hey, unless you wanted to read it.
Oh, no, okay.
Hi, Cove, come on in. Once he stepped inside, you beckoned for him to follow you upstairs. Back up in your room, you sat down on your bed and waited for Cove to settle in, as you knew he would. With other guests, you might have offered them a seat, but you and Cove were long past those tentative stages of friendship. Your room was as familiar to him as his own. You watched as Cove sat down in your desk chair, his preferred spot. He rolled it closer to the bed to make it easier to chat, tweaking the angles so that he was facing you fully. Once happy with the position, he leaned in towards you, hands held in his lap. His actions weren't the ones of someone who planned on moving from his spot anytime soon, even though you had an appointment to keep together that day. When is your mom leaving?
Don't worry about it.
We've got some time. She's still got a shower and stuff before she goes. She didn't want me to just keep hanging around while she was doing that.
He lifted his head, his gaze drifting out through the window, and chuckled.
I can't believe she's already leaving. Just when I'm getting used to her being there every day.
Yeah, it's gonna be so weird. If she's not in step 3, like, it's gonna feel so weird without her.
I know.
He leaned back in the chair. A wary smile tickled his cheeks. Time's going by so fast. He cocked his head thoughtfully before shrugging. He ran a hand through his hair before shaking his head, as if shaking off the topic like a dog whipping off water following a dip in the sea. Silence stretched out between you two. Oh, why are you blushing, boy? Quiet didn't survive long around you, but you held off on shaking this one. Cove's expression, from the way he began to chew his lips to deepening the lines of worry on his face, suggested that it was a prelude to something else. He started to curl in on himself, draping an arm around his lap. Cove was looking less and less comfortable in the space as you watched him, wondering what to do.
Groovy.
Wait, is he gonna confess? Cove spoke up before you had made a decision on whether or not to push him on the mat. What the matter was. There was a tremor in his voice that you rarely heard while the two of you were in the safety of your room.
I mean...
Oh shit! Oh no! When someone tried to kiss him!
Oh,
no, he membered! He fucking membered!
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm nervous now.
I want to talk to you about the road trip. What happened then?
Uh-oh. Your eyes grew. He membered. At the reaction, Cove pulled his arm around his chest as his shoulders hunching inwards. You knew what he was implying. Back when you'd been in the loft and nearly kissed, Cove hadn't breathed a word about it since it happened, or well, almost happened.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for moving away like that when you tried to.
I'm sorry I did that! I feel so bad! He dropped the silence. He didn't push for him to finish. It had conveyed what it needed.
And I'm sorry for how I've been since, you know, like it didn't even happen. I just thought about it. I mean, I haven't forgotten about it. I don't keep thinking about it all the time.
He hung his red-cheeked head forward, forehead popped up by a couple of fingers. You could tell that he was already regretting how this was going.
Sorry.
Sorry for being weird. It's just, I kind of thought or hoped that sometime I'd be able to do this. With me talking about everything.
Everything? There's more? He nodded ever so slightly. Your face felt a lot hotter after that. Cove brightened a little at your positive reaction, and his explanation continued.
I, well, could sort of picture how it might go, but what it'd be like with you and me.
Oh.
But just the first part. I couldn't ever imagine anything that'd come after. I know it's actually happened. We're there. It's...
He took another deep breath, stuttering on the exhale.
That's,
This makes things different.
Should we find a crystal ball for
Crystal
answers?
ball for answers. I don't think we'd see anything.
Nothing? That's kind of sad for us.
That isn't what I meant. It's just they can't really show the future. They're just glass.
You were happy to see him being livelier. His wide eyes met yours as he looked at you, less burdened from the anxiety that had built inside him. How about a do-over?
No.
What? Okay, fuck me then. Oh wait, I thought that meant like the kiss, right? Was I referring to the word shot out reflexively? Oh, okay, fuck me. Sorry, I totally read the situation wrong. The word shot out reflexively. He couldn't help it, but immediately cringed at himself. Do you really mean that?
No. I mean, I do want to. I want to try again if you still want to.
That's what I said. And I don't want to do it too much. He seems very scared. I don't want to scare him. So you were scared, but kissed him. Oh, you untangled yourself from your resting position and stood up, realizing your intent to actually go for it. Ko straightened up in the chair, his hands coiled together in his lap. As you moved towards him, you noticed his knees knocking together as he trembled. Oh my god. No, I don't want to frighten him. He's like a little animal. His decision not to rise from the chair made perfect sense. That's so cute. If he was that shaky while sitting down, there was no way he'd manage to stand without at least one of you falling over. Your legs brushed against his, quivering ones as you came to a stop in front of him. Cove was staring up at you as you leaned in towards him. He echoed the motion and drew in towards you. Once you were close enough to feel Cove's breath on your face, you closed your eyes. The last thing you saw was Cove quickly doing the same. Oh, yay! Oh, yay! Work has been a roller coaster. It's okay, Aaron. Look, we kissed. We kissed for the first time. Oh, yay! Just in time. You made it. Welcome. I'm sorry work was a roller coaster. I feel that. But now here's a safe space. We're kissing our homies. We're starting step 3 for real. Your lips met with Cove's. Not clickbait. We just have to make it through this epilogue, I promise. I'm still on the roller coaster. Oh no. It's okay. You'll slow down and park in Kiss Your Homies town pretty soon. Your lips met with Cove's for a moment. His lips were pressed tightly together, unyielding, but it was all right. You were kissing him, and he was kissing you. Your stomach somersaulted. You couldn't believe it was really happening. In that moment, it felt warm, and it felt nice, and it felt right. You drew back, and Cove slipped down into the chair, the knuckles of his hands pale after gripping so tightly. Thinking that he could do this, that he could do with some space to breathe, figuratively and literally, you took a step back. Cove shot up, his stance rigid. Oh, he's so cute! What the fuck? Oh! Cove plastered a hand over his mouth, his eyes shut tight. His back then became bowed, shrinking him down. You could only just make out the few words he managed to summon.
Oh my god, oh my god.
He's such a nerd!
I can't believe we actually...
He's so cute! His eyes flew open wide, but he didn't look your way, let alone meet your gaze.
Oh my god.
We... We kissed. We kissed.
Oh, Daisy, thank you for the raid! Guys, we kissed him! Welcome! Elliot, if you're still here, please shout out Daisy. If not, I can do it. Don't worry. Hello, everyone from Daisy's community. How is Webkins? I didn't see you play Webkins next. How was that?
Oh my God. Webkins.
Yeah, Daisy was fucking playing
That is
Webkins. It took me
nostalgia.
back. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi! Here, I'll give you a shout out myself. Hold on. Hold on. It was oh so interesting. I have to watch the VOD. I want to see what it was like. Hold on. Okay, see if I spelled that right. Yeah, Webkins Classic. Let's go. Yeah, dude, I stopped when you were playing, I think the what is it, Cash Cow? That was my favorite game.
God.
And yeah, you remember that was my favorite game in the fucking Webkins. Like I played that for hours. I'm pretty sure my eyes were like fucking bleeding. Of course, we're having fun.
My mom, she was like, she would like help me with like the Webkins games. And she, like, she was like, "Can I play the Webkins Mahjong or something like that?" I was like, "Sure."
I didn't even know they had Mahjong.
I think that was like something similar to Mahjong. I forget what it
Probably.
was.
Oh, and also when you were playing, no, I stopped when you were playing Quizzy. It was like, Daisy was playing Quizzy, and it was like pop culture references, but back in the day. So it was like who are the members of NSYNC, and like, what movie was Leonardo DiCaprio in that involved like a ship? Like, how many Ninja Turtles were there?
Oh,
Dude.
God.
That takes me back. Yeah, I hope you had fun. If anyone's new, hi, I'm Nico. I am a pastel demon in the body of a university dropout, and I like to play video games. And I'm here with my bestie Belle. We're playing Our Life.
Hi.
Hi! She's the one who introduced me to the game, so we're playing it together. And we just kissed! Cove! You can romance multiple people, but we're choosing Cove because he's like the main banana. Thank you for the resub, Greg! Welcome in, Puckers! Thank you! 10 months, holy shit! Almost a year! Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, now that more people are here, I want to mention it's all, I don't know if it's in, I got a banner for it, but I don't know if it's in progress today or tomorrow. It's almost or is September, so you get deals on your subs. Whether you want to spend it here or your favorite channel that you just, like, you know, you didn't have the money to put aside for a full price sub, they're on special. So yeah. But yeah, we just kissed. You guys just missed it, but we kissed, and then we're gonna start step 3, I promise. And he's being very cute. He's being such a little dork. I love Cove. Aw, yippee. You're full of nerves. His reaction was really cute. You thought his... See, okay, right now, me thinks his reaction is very cute, but I would be, like, freaking the fuck out, I think. So I think I was full of nerves.
Yeah.
You're full of nerves. Blinking, you tried to process what had happened. You laid a hand on your cheek, half wondering about pinching yourself to check this wasn't a dream. You found your skin as hot as a car door at noon on a summer's day. Cove only slammed his eyes closed once again. I don't want to, like, tease him about it because he's gonna get nervous. Cove is... I don't want to assume he liked it. So, Cove, did you like it? He was still holding the hand over his face, but in an attempt to answer, he emitted a muffled whimper. Ah, what a nerd! He's so cute. With that obviously not working, he uncovered his face at last, bringing the hand to lay against his chest, and looked at you.
Yeah.
Yay! He opened his mouth, poised to speak, and pursed his lips as words failed him. On his 3rd or 4th attempt, you heard what he had to say.
I did like it. I'm glad that we, you know.
Yay! He swallowed, seemingly not able to speak the actual word. That we kissed? Cove ducked his head but nodded. He got the impression that he was grateful that you'd finished the thought, but your direct words had pierced his Achilles heel. Aw. You grinned, thrilled that the experience had been a welcome one. The smile on Cove's face was real, but wary, not unlike the one he wore after a long and exhausting day of activity. Like when he'd made a new personal best. The work had been hard, but the reward had been worth it. With some newfound confidence, he drew himself up as he inhaled deeply. Each word he spoke next was delicate. Ah!
Oh, wait, sorry.
It's okay.
Come on.
Sorry, I had to yell.
It's okay. I like you.
Yay!
A lot. Probably way too much.
Ah, he's so cute. He ducked his head bashfully and opened an eye, peeking at you through the hair that had fallen over his face like a veil. He'd managed a smile.
Thanks for waiting for me.
Of course!
Aw.
Oh! His eyes sparkled just looking at you, his affection transparently clear. He never could hide what he was feeling, and you couldn't be more grateful for that day. For that today. Okay, this is just a me thing. I hate saying I love you more to people. Like, I get it's not real. Like, you mean it as, like, a joke, but, like, I feel like my brain,
Yeah.
my depressed-ass brain will internalize it. So, like, I never say this.
Okay.
Like, I like you too. Cove squeaked out a nervous giggle. He curled his hand into a loose fist and brushed the knuckles idly against his cheek. Words evaded him as he opened his mouth and closed it again.
I don't
He gave up on finishing the sentence, instead just smiling again. He rubbed his eyes with the heel of his hands. It was an action usually reserved for much later in the day, but at this point, it already felt like a long day. Cove then pressed a hand to his creased forehead.
Oh my god.
Does this mean I'm your boyfriend or something now? Should we tell our parents? I don't know what dad or mom would do.
Aww. There were a lot of concerns in there. You honed in the simplest. There was no way your moms would let you have a boyfriend, even though that word juxtaposed with Cove's name made your heart race. My parents won't let me have a boyfriend or even a something. See, this, I think this now. He's so cute, yeah. I think this now, but I think teen me would be like, I want a boyfriend. So,
Oh, yeah.
it's not fair. Pouting, you huffed and railed against the injustice of it all. Cove lifted his hand from his chest and reached towards you, halting halfway, then slowly, cautiously, hooked his fingers around yours. Aww. His palm pressed against the back of your hand. You hold his hand back. You rotated your hands so that you were palm to palm with Cove, your thumbs crossing one another.
We can get it to work. We always figure things out sooner or later.
I got an achievement for having a confession scene with Cove in step 2. It's so cool because like you can save the confession scene for any point, right?
Yes.
Ah, this game's so fucking good.
Like you can like not confess in step 2, but confess in step 3, I think.
Oh, thank you for the resub, Ellie. 14, just like the Final Fantasy. Yeah, wow, thank you. You're right. No matter what, it's okay in the end when it's the two of us. Your forthright statement made Cove gasp, but the smile that followed and his tighter grip on your hand told you that he had appreciated it.
Groovy. Cove.
Uh-oh. The sudden call from downstairs caught you both unaware. You'd nearly forgotten the world outside your room. From the guilty look on his face, Cove had done the same.
Just had a call. Cove's mom is ready to go.
How are we gonna have a straight fucking face like this?
If you're quick, she might keep the mandated motherly smothering to a minimum.
You doubted that, but it was nice that Mom and Mrs. Priest had their strange sense of humor in common. Your eyes met Cove's. Wordlessly, you headed downstairs together. Each step on the way there was painfully slow, like he was trying to delay the inevitable. His whole body tense, leaving the house, and Cove froze altogether before you both could cross the street.
Oh.
The door's open. Dawn must be taking her stuff out.
He swallowed hard. Oh,
She's really gonna leave.
ugh, I'm gonna miss her. Give him a backpack. Your motion was soft, and you weren't sure if he even noticed at first. It'll be okay. Cove's bottom lip quivered, and he turned away. You gave his back a couple more reassuring pats.
Thanks.
At that, some of the conflict wearing on his face eased a bit. Together you went across the street and inside his house, finding his parents in the living room surrounded by his mom's packed things.
Hey, kids. Good timing. I just called the taxi.
Dude, yeah, Cove's mom's got it going on. She's such a baddie. I can't believe she's leaving.
Hi.
And hi, Groovy. So glad I get to see you today. It was fabulous getting to know you this summer.
This is like the... Sorry I was late. I was, in this case, kissing things. Cove's like, I'm things. And they're like, haha, you are dating my son. The roller coaster has slowed down, thank God. Welcome to Kissing Your Homies Town.
I finally got to put a face to the name I've heard so many times.
Aw, I forgot. Yeah, he talked about me a lot. She winked and Cove pouted on cue over the teasing. Bye, bitch. No. Why? I know it's like, it's not saying to hate her, but it's like, if you hate her, you could. But it's like, why? She's so nice.
I know.
I'm really happy I got to meet you.
Hopefully it won't be too long before we see each other again.
Nodding, Kyra turned her attention back to her boys. She patted Cliff on the arm with a warm smile, and then she enveloped Cove in a crushing hug. Initially, Cove squirmed to break free from her grip, but his mom was unfazed and kept him locked in place. Hug your fucking mom, loser. Heartbeats later, he gave in and hugged her back tightly. Yay!
I'm so
And I'm so happy this trip was a success.
Cliff looked like he was bursting with pride.
Well, not a 100% success, but still a passing grade, I think.
Thinking back on everything that happened this summer, he started to look sheepish. Cliff scratched the side of his head, and an awkward chuckle escaped Cove.
There were ways it could have gone smoother. I'm still keeping that in mind for the future.
All right.
Good for you, Cliff, and I'll be trying harder to stay more in the loop.
You watched as Cove smiled softly at both his parents, and you felt relieved seeing how much the whole family had come together since you first met him. Despite any underlying troubles, love was still there. Oh, yeah, I love that. I love them so much. After that, it wasn't long before the taxi arrived, rolling up in front of the house, and in clear view of the open door, Kyra stood up, smiling sadly.
Well, that's my ride. Yeah.
Oh. The matching reply got a chuckle out of Kyra. As you all filled out of the house, father and son went with Kyra's bags in hand. Once outside, you spotted your family waiting by the street, and you're surprised Derek was also with them. Yay, Derek! He stood uncomfortably, and he waved as soon as you noticed him.
What's up?
Hey, Groovy. Hi, Cove.
God, he's so fucking little. When did you get
I
here?
know. My dad dropped me off just a little bit ago. Thought I could visit one more time before school
I
started.
could, like, eat him in one bite. No fucking joke. I can do it right now.
Sorry.
Nom nom.
Ow.
You picked a busy time. Sorry.
Derek couldn't even look at Cove. He nervously kept rolling a pebble with the bottom of his shoe. Wait, there was also that asshole. What happened to the asshole?
Jeremy.
Oh my god, I hope he's in the other fucking steps, bro. He only showed up like twice, I think.
Yeah, it was
I was-
entertaining though.
It's pretty good. He's such a bitch. Derek looks like the kind of kid who asks if you have games on your phone. He probably does. Maybe that's how we met. He's so little.
Sorry.
I wasn't even thinking that your mom would be leaving today. I'm sorry, dude.
No, it's okay. You can come say bye.
What? You're not interrupting anything. You're always welcome here.
Yeah. I feel like Derek, I don't know if like this is me projecting. I feel like he almost feels like a third wheel sometimes. I kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah. It would have been sad if I didn't get to say goodbye before leaving. I think so too.
It was apparent Derek would have preferred to have gotten there at a more opportune moment. He never liked seeming impolite, but their reassuring words soothed his worries. Good. I love Derek. I want to do his route so bad. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do other routes off stream, maybe. I don't know. Depends how I feel, but I definitely want to like explore the other content in this game. There's so fucking much. The tension he was holding in his body lessened, and he looked like he was feeling much more like himself.
Bye, Derek. It was fun getting to know you. Bye, ma'am. Is there anything I can do to help?
Nah.
Nah. Oh, don't worry yourself over that. We're just about set.
I remember playing this game. Yeah, welcome, Cyan! Yeah, this is my first time. Belle, who's with me, who's also my emo artist, is the one who introduced me to this. So I'm very happy. It's so cute. We just kissed Cove in our room like a few minutes ago before saying bye to his mom. And then we're gonna start step 3 for real, not clickbait. But yeah, welcome in. I hope you're doing good. In that short amount of time, Cliff had gathered and packed the bags into the trunk. Kyra took one last look at everyone inside.
Alright, I don't want to keep the driver waiting. It's time to head out.
The little crowd that had formed around started their chorus of farewells and well wishes traveling, but Kyra still made no move to get into the taxi. She placed her attention on Cove.
I'll call when I get to the airport, and when I make it to Nevada. Also, you better call the moment you walk in the door at home. Otherwise, we'll be wondering all night if you got into trouble on the way there. I can do that. And
Aw.
could you call tomorrow too, so I can tell you how school went?
Oh, you're so cute.
Of course. I want to hear all about it.
Can you stay here? You can move into my house. Kyra put a hand on Cove's head and affectionately ruffled his hair one last time. She then let go, only to move on to squeezing his cheeks in her hands instead. Aww.
Mom,
Oh.
I love you so much, baby.
Aww. She was chuckling by the time she freed him and rounded things off with a small tap to the tip of his nose. Cove rubbed at his face with a grin. Finally, she walked to the car while waving and took her seat in the taxi. Cliff hooked an arm around Cove's shoulder and kept him close as it began to pull away. For a moment, Cove looked up at his dad and then wrapped an arm across his back.
Bye.
Aww.
Bye, Mom. Bye. Travel safe.
Kyra rolled down the window and stuck her head out of it. She waved again while blowing kisses at Cove and Cliff.
See you again.
Before she was out of sight, you decided to call out with your family and hers. Wave goodbye. Watch what? Call out, I guess. Call out. As you added your voice to the others, you watched Kyra's smile grow larger. I like her a lot. The cab turned down another road and completely disappeared from view. Cove let go of his dad and took a few steps out into the empty street, still looking in the direction his mom went. He smiled quietly, deep in thought. You got the impression Cove was feeling better than he was earlier. He was finally content with the way things were. Aww. The summer breeze brought a sweet-sounding jingle across the way. It was the wind chime you had given Cove. Oh, right! We got a wind chime at the mall! He had hung it at the front of his house, and it had become a very familiar sound in this neighborhood. Ow! You jumped a bit when your mom put a hand on your shoulder, pulling you away from your thoughts. She smiled when you looked at her.
This was a great vacation, huh?
Mm-hmm. Summer isn't over until the second I fall asleep.
No naps for you then. Can't risk you accidentally ending summer a few hours too early for the rest of us.
Chuckling, you shook your head, amused. Cove walked back over to the group, still genuinely happy. Derek grinned at him, welcoming, and everyone else there smiled at him, even Elizabeth.
Well?
Ma clapped her hands together, bringing everyone's attention back to the present.
It's almost lunchtime. I think I'll put something special together.
Her eyes sparkled with a plan, and Mom smiled.
I bet you could use some help with that. That'd be absolutely wonderful.
Derek glanced between the two, his eyebrows furrowed.
Is there something I could
God,
do?
you're so small! Your moms exchanged a fond expression. Ma shook her head.
How sweet.
That's very sweet, Derek, but it's alright. It's not your job. Technically, your dad left you under Cliff's watch. You're meant to be taken care of by him, not doing chores for neighbors.
Mom laughed a little over her own joke. You watched Derek look away, discouraged.
It's okay.
I don't mind.
He was a little bashful about it. You wondered if Mom's joke had just reminded him that he wasn't initially meant to be invited to lunch. No, you're always invited. You can live at my house too. It was getting a little awkward. Mom grinned sympathetically. Her comment was meant to lighten the mood, not bring it back down. Ma tried again to get things moving forward.
Why don't you kids go have fun? You all can come back in about an hour. We'll make enough for everyone.
Mom nodded in agreement.
Sounds good.
Another stunning idea, Lanny. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That sounds like a plan then. I don't want to cramp your style. I've got some stuff to work on, so I can't be out of your hair this afternoon. You should come by later too. No reason you should be the odd man out.
Mom seemed amused as Cliff rubbed his neck nervously. He grinned a wavering but pleased smile.
Thanks very much.
I appreciate the invite.
He looked over the assembled crowd with knowing glances.
I can help too, with as many people as you're feeding. That's going to be a lot of food. Didn't you hear what we told Derek? It would be fair. Oh my god! It wouldn't be fair to make you cook when we're the ones who are inviting you in.
Ma raised an eyebrow when Cliff waved it off.
Come on.
I insist. Derek would be missing time with his pals. Oh my lord! This would be a break for me. I'm quite the chef.
Ma and Mom exchanged further glances before Mom shrugged.
True.
An airtight argument. If you're sure, we'll be happy to have you, Chef Cliff.
Cliff's grin widened and seemed more hyped than you'd expect him to be about helping with lunch. Cove shook his head, a fond smile on his face.
Then all us grown-up people will be heading inside. I assume the rest of you kiddos are staying out? Maybe not all of them.
What, me? Where am I going? Oh, Mom tilted her head. A silent question for Elizabeth, your sister, thought for a moment.
All right.
I'll stay with the kids.
Oh, because she's too cool to hang out with us.
That's fantastic.
That's great.
Both your moms smiled at her, while Derek and Cove didn't seem to appreciate her phrasing. But with the plan decided, all three parents waved and headed for your house. It was just you teenagers now. Elizabeth looked at you and the others, a curious expression on her face.
So?
What now?
You silently wondered if Elizabeth only stayed out with you to avoid getting roped into work. Then again, she could just genuinely want to hang out. You couldn't tell with your sister. Cove spoke up after no one else did to answer Elizabeth's question.
Want to go down to the shopping street? It's been a while, and I don't think there's a lot of other things we could agree on. Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Sounds awesome to me. Unlike you guys, I haven't been there 1,001 times. It's new to me. I haven't been there 1,001 times, okay.
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds fun. You strolled across the road as a group, down to the beach and then to the left. It took less than 15 minutes to arrive, one of the conveniences of Sunset Bird. The four of you looked around at the familiar shops, trying to see if anything caught your attention this time. Derek was the most enthusiastic. He checked out every stall with his eyes wide with wonder. Elizabeth and Cove were in good spirits as well.
That's so cool.
He ran over to a street magician who was currently doing a trick for a group of enchanted tourists. Derek clapped when the magician showed a middle-aged man his card. Yo, is it fucking, what was it, Magician Mike or something? Derek turned...
I forgot what his name was.
Yeah, maybe we can get another balloon. Turned back to the group with a curious gleam on his face.
What does it take to perform here anyway? Do you have to ask somebody, or you just show up and start doing stuff?
I'm sure if you just start doing stuff, they can't really stop you. You know what? Maybe they can. I don't know.
Yeah. Who would you even ask? It's a public street.
The city, I guess?
Hey, Miss Mayor, can I pull a rabbit out of my hat? Please. Flopsy is well behaved, I promise. I promise.
I promise. Derek chuckled, his eyes searching up and down the scene.
Maybe?
Maybe there is a boss at the shopping street? No one does any of this around my neighborhood. It's just
Magician
regular
Mike.
stores behind walls.
Oh wait, is it? I think it is The Amazing Alexander, right? Is that it? That sounds right. Nah, Nintendo. Thank you. Also, welcome in. How are you?
It's different if someone wants a real store, but here I'm pretty sure people are just putting on their little shows whenever they want to and do whatever.
Maybe you had to like get a license if you're like, if it costs money.
Probably. I'm not sure. That's so neat. Would we be allowed to do something too?
We should just do something. Cove laughed and Derek began almost vibrating with excitement. Elizabeth rolled her eyes.
What will we do? Well, I don't know what. Not yet, I mean. I just found out it's a possibility, you know? But there's gotta be something. We know cool stuff. I'm sure if we think about it, we could plan a show that really get a crowd pumped.
We should like fucking like steal Alexander's fucking crowd.
There's
Would be his rival, just like,
balloons.
fuck you, dog. Like, this is our street now. What? No, the fuck? What? No, let's do it. I'm in.
Ooh,
Nice.
I knew I could count on you. Now we just need the act. It'll come to us.
Right. With some amusement, the gang continued to peruse the stalls. Elizabeth found some earrings with a dangling, badly misprinted globe that everyone laughed at. Cove picked out a blob as Iceland, but Derek thought it had to be Greenland.
You know, this is a world with what looks like 9 continents. I think you're both wrong.
It's
No,
Australia.
Australia.
The other three giggled at your interjection. Suddenly, Cove froze. You stared at him and then tried to see what caught his attention. Then you saw a familiar face down the. It's the. Wait. No, wait, it's Jeremy! Ah, shit! Alright, it's on sight! Oh, shit! Between the crowd, his bright hair stood out like a neon green bowl in a kitchen sink. It was Jeremy. Jeremy slowly. Is this like his theme? Like. It's like his boss theme. Jeremy slowly drifted his eyes down the street, and his eyes widened in mutual recognition. He definitely noticed you. Derek, look at his. Derek is not amused. He's like, oh, not this
He is
fucker
not
again.
pleased.
He's not looking forward to it. Derek frowned and Cove tensed up. You couldn't help but remember the last time you'd seen Jeremy at Miranda's birthday party. No wonder Cove was already defending. I think both times I met him, I tried to like knock him on his ass.
Yeah.
Can I like fight him right away?
Imagine.
You glared at Jeremy. You narrowed your eyes and projected your dislike. Elizabeth raised an eyebrow. Her gaze swept over Jeremy without a hint of a clue. I remember when you kicked his ass. Yeah, if I get another chance to do it, I will. I think Elizabeth's only here who's not in the loop. She's like, who the fuck is, why are you guys like beefing with this kid? Like,
Yeah.
Jeremy simply scoffed to himself and waded deeper into the crowd of people. Derek relaxed and exhaled loudly. All right. You saved yourself an ass kicking this time. You wanted him back and he's back. I was just wondering where he fucking was.
I'm glad he's not gonna start.
I might start something. He peeked over at Elizabeth with a tiny smirk.
See? That was a mean kid.
What?
Huh?
She still didn't get it. That first summer date hadn't made nearly as much of an impression on her as it did for Derek. But he smiled and waved it off.
Just forget about him. I already
Yo,
have.
she doesn't even give two shits about this guy. He laughed and Cove smiled lightly. He seemed in a much better mood now that Jeremy was gone. I love how like his sprite didn't even show up. It's just like you saw him, you got mad, and now everything's okay. Your eyes wandered over to where Jeremy disappeared. You hadn't forgotten the day you met him either. He was only going to be in town for a vacation with the parents. He hated. That glimpse was probably the last time you would ever see him. I don't know about that. Oh no. No, I can't. Like, that wouldn't make sense. I'm not gonna go, like, hunt him down. But it would be funny. I could be swayed with money to do this. We'll just save it just in case, you know. Put it in the second slot. All right. Okay. You mentioned the realization to everyone. Jeremy's probably gone for good now. It's time for him to go back to wherever he's from.
Yeah.
Guess we won't have to worry about that guy anymore.
Derek kicked a little rock in the road. It clattered forward and rolled under a stall.
But I still think it's kind of sad Jeremy turned out to be, well, like he is. It would have been nice to make another friend.
Cove shook his head. He clearly was not broken up over what might have been. No. Why would I care about him? I'm happy it's over. Elizabeth rolled her eyes at the strange farewell to the odd boy, not interested in the slightest. She clearly didn't understand his impact, and at this point, she didn't want to understand. Jeremy was unlike anyone you had ever met before. Thought he was stupid.
Oh, God.
Thought he was horrible. He's like mean for no fucking reason. You and the group moved on from the stall and from Jeremy. It didn't take long for everyone to return to the joking. You all enjoyed what little time you had left as Elizabeth mentioned the hour was almost up. The little trip had flown by and lunch must have been waiting for you now. Derek bounced on the balls of his feet.
Okay.
Come on, guys. Let's get going so we can eat. I'm starving.
I can't wait. I'm hungry. Ko stretched one of his arms lazily.
Let's go then.
You looked at him appraisingly. This is like as a joke, right? Carry me.
Huh?
Hey, Cove.
Yeah?
Could you carry me back home?
What?
Cove turned red, obviously flustered. Oh, it's not a joke. Well. These are all good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to walk back. My legs are tired. I don't want to walk back. Cove sighed and shook his head. Oh, Elizabeth and Derek became a chorus of laughter. Come on, Cove, it'll be fun. Yay!
Right.
Cove stepped over to you. He looked like he couldn't believe what he was doing. Your lips quirked into a large smile. Yeah, thanks! He carefully crouched in front of you so that you could climb on. It took a little bit of clamoring to get yourself completely on Cove's back. However, when Cove slipped his arm under your legs and stood up, you felt very secure. Yeah, let's go! Elizabeth watched with a smirk on her face while Derek laughed even harder. It was fair to say that your antics were entertaining. You were glad Cove went with it. Cove carried you home, but he seemed pretty bashful about the situation. He struggled with how much to grip around you, whether or not he should try to reposition things. But along with all that, he also seemed to feel some pride to be carrying you. Aww. It was a pleasant walk home, and in no time you had made it back. Derek got the front door held it open for everyone as you each moseyed inside. The three parents were still in the kitchen. They looked up and waved. Hey, y'all.
Welcome back, everyone. You made it just in time.
Hey.
I hope you're hungry.
When Cove had brought you inside, the parents couldn't help but notice the odd conveyance. Your moms were unsure, and Mr. Holden raised an eyebrow.
Everything okay?
Did you pull something, Groovy?
Nah, just too lazy. I'm okay.
Oh, Cove, you've gone so strong.
Good kid.
And reliable, too. What a guy.
Cove rolled his eyes at the commentary, then started walking to your couch. He bent down, and you let yourself plop onto the couch. Thanks for the lift. Cove exhaled loudly and shook out his arms. He seemed relieved that he made it.
So did everyone have a nice time out?
She gestured for people to take a seat at the table. Plates and silverware have already been placed out. You took your normal seat. Elizabeth sat across from you, and Derek took the seat to your left. Cove sat on your right. But he blushed a little and began fidgeting with his silverware. His dad was the first to pick up on his extra awkwardness, but your moms weren't far behind. The parents shared looks at Cove's reaction. It seemed that he was struggling with how to act normal around his dad, or your parents, or both, after what happened between the two of you upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had a great time. It was fine. I had fun.
See, I don't think I'd say this now, but I don't think I'd say that as a teenager. I really liked it.
That's good in my book.
Casually, Mr. Holden sat in the empty seat across from Cove. He smiled at you and all the other kids. Mom set down a platter full of water glasses on the table. She looked down at the gathering.
It's a good thing we have 8 chairs. I can't remember the last time we had a group this big over for a meal. Can you pass the drinks down to the other side? Make sure you all get one. Sure.
Those close to the cups obliged and started offering waters around. As you passed Cove his drink, your hands touched. Cove froze. You had already let go, not yet realizing that he was too distracted to function in the moment. The glass fell down on the table. God damn it, Cove! Landing with the sharp clatter of glass on the wood. Cove scooted his chair back with a restrained shout.
Sorry.
I'll just get a towel or something.
He looked around in frantic panic, as if an object to soak up the water would magically appear if he turned his head fast enough. His dad bit his lip in worry, rising from his own seat.
Well...
Cove, what's going on? You've been a little out of it today. Did something happen?
Cove tensed, frozen again. He stared at the water on the table, as if he wanted to sink into it. No, I'm not. No. Spoke up. If something did happen, you should wait for Cove to want to talk about it. Trying to make him say things in front of everybody wouldn't be good. Mr. Holden nodded slowly. He still seemed worried, but after another look at Cove, he smiled sympathetically.
Right.
Well said, Groovy. I'm here when you're ready, son.
Of course.
Cove breathed a sigh of relief and shot you an apologetic look. You shot him a covert thumbs up. As everything got up, Ma chided Elizabeth to take her elbows off the table.
Now.
And you shouldn't slouch.
God, I'd do both of those things. She pointed to Mr. Holden, who was leaning forward with both arms on the table.
Oops.
Mr. Holden seemed unsure about all the sudden attention and carefully rearranged his posture to something suitable for a fancy dinner. He smiled sheepishly at Ma. Elizabeth rolled her eyes, and Ma gave a level look at her.
You shouldn't be impolite to a guest in the house either.
Elizabeth groaned, long and long-suffering. Ma giggled, and Mr. Holden chuckled.
Not bad.
A lot of you could learn a thing or two from Derek. He has the best manners here.
Derek blushed, but it was true. His posture was upright and formal. He even held his fork gracefully. How the fuck do you hold a fork gracefully?
Who knows?
His halo manners, on top of all his attempts to aid your parents, made him the model of meal attendee behavior.
Aw.
It's nothing. It's true though. You have been a lovely guest. I noticed that too. It's always nice when you stay over, Derek.
Derek smiled and sat a little taller in his chair.
And do you have anything good to say about our other guest?
She looked deliberately at Cove with a teasing smirk.
Or is there just nothing to say? Well, Poe was my number one, but he does still clean his hands by wiping them on his pants.
Cove!
I forgot about that.
You just need to look at someone's fork skills and appreciate how they grip seem strong but dexterous. How the fuck? I didn't even know there were different ways to hold forks. There's any shaking or trembling. Listen, if people shake and tremble when they hold their fork, that's not my problem. They're doing their best. Cove frowned at that and absentmindedly brushed his hands on his pant legs. Your mom's laughed lightly. Maybe it's held closer to the front of the back, a sense of balance. Listen, so you have to like hold it like completely 50-50 on the handle. I'm just doing the devil's advocate thing. Hold on, I'm gonna search up if there's different ways to hold a fork. Okay, wait, hold on. How to hold a fork gracefully. Like, okay, so I don't even know how I fucking hold forks anymore now. Okay, continental style. Hold a fork in left hand times. Oh, that's American style. So there's continental style and American style.
Interesting.
Hold a fork and spoon. Like, what the fuck? Now I don't even know how I hold a fork anymore. Okay, does anyone else do this? Okay, do you cut your food like with a knife with your dominant or non-dominant hand?
Dominant.
I don't, because okay, if you're not cutting anything and you're using your fork without cutting anything and you just have a fork, are you using your dominant?
If I'm only just using the fork,
Yeah.
I use my dominant.
So if you're cutting something, you switch hands. So you put your fork in your non-dominant hand and then you take the knife with your dominant hand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that.
Oh, is
I
it
cut-
reverse for you?
No, well, like I eat my fork is always in my dominant hand. Even if I'm cutting something, I cut with my left hand, which is not my dominant. Because I don't want to switch. Like, it's too much work. So I just know how to cut things with my left hand. But I'm right-handed.
It's just an extra step.
Because it's like, why am I putting the fork there and then I'm going to put the knife down and then I'm going to switch the fork back to my other hand? That's crazy. I think my sister does the same, but she's left-handed.
Oh.
So that
okay.
the fork is always in her left hand. Even when she's cutting something, she'll cut it with her right.
Ah.
I cut with my dominant hand, non-dominant for fork. Otherwise, fork with non-dominant if there's no knife. Wait, so your fork is always... Okay, wait. Ellie, are you left-handed or right-handed? See, for me, I guess because, like, I'm cutting, yeah. Okay, if I'm just cutting... Let's say I'm cutting a baguette and I'm not using a fork, I cut it with my dominant hand. But only if I cut a couple times and can go in the fork, I swap hand. I never swap hands. If I'm only using a knife, it's with my dominant hand. But if I'm eating a meal with a fork and knife... My fork is always in my dominant hand no matter what. I never do a swap.
Yeah, I swap usually.
If I'm using, when you're slicing a baguette, when I'm slicing a baguette, I don't need a fork, so it's in my dominant hand. The second time I said non-dominant, I meant dominant. Oh, okay. Your non-dominant hand is the fork. That's not true. No, my fork has become one with my dominant hand. Also, when I'm spreading something, like on a toast, it's I don't need a fork, so it's my dominant hand with the knife.
Mm-hmm.
My knife takes a back seat to my fork hand. Eat with hands and cut with teeth. Solve your problems. It's whatever is holding the object you are slicing. Your dominant hand is the fork. It's whatever is holding the non-object you are slicing. Wait, only fork, dominant. Fork and knife, fork and non-dominant fork. Okay, see, I don't do that. My fork is always in my dominant hand. If there is a fork in the my equation, it's always in my dominant hand. Even if there's a knife. Knife is only in my dominant hand if I'm not using a fork. There's a priority system. Ellie gets it. No, that's stupid. I think everyone does it that way, but everyone's stupid. So then I do actually, because, okay, so with that issue is if you're at a table with mainly right hand dominant users or whatever, you are hitting elbows because the person next to me on my left will be using their right hand to cut something, but I'll be using my left and then we'll be bumping elbows, which sucks.
Right.
Knife in my non-dominant hand would break my brain. I don't know, I just learned. I can't think too much about it because I don't even understand anymore.
It's just autopilot.
Yeah, it's like the way, do you guys know, did I ever tell you guys about the way I write 8s? If you sit down at the table and you're lefty surrounded by righties, do you take the cutlery on your left or your right? It's always, isn't it mostly on your right? I don't even know how to properly set a table, so.
I don't know either.
I'm always at the end of a table, so I always know which cutlery is mine. Okay, did I tell you guys how I draw or write 8s? Belle, do you know how I write 8s?
No. How do you write your 8?
Can you guess? Take a few guesses first.
You start at the middle and then do your squiggle infinity thing?
Nope.
Infinite? 2 circles?
Nope.
Damn. Huh. That's like the only 2 that pops up.
And there's
in
a
my
secret
head.
third way.
There's a secret third way.
And there's a story behind
What?
it. So,
Do you draw a circle, then you attach the other?
nope.
I don't know.
So, bear with me. I write a 3, and then I write a backwards 3. And I connect them. Yes, Aaron guessed it. Because when I was in elementary school, I was writing on the chalkboard, and I meant to write an 8, but I accidentally wrote a 3 for some reason. So then I just fixed it by writing another 3 on it, and then I've been doing it ever since.
Like it just you connected the dots.
I did. I connected them, and I tried to like. So now when I try to do the 8s the other way, so the infinite 8 always turns out like lopsided and ugly, and then for the circles, I always like underestimate like where to connect them, and then they're not connected. So I just, yeah, there's just 2 3s. It's the easiest way to write an 8.
That's true.
I think it turns out lopsided.
Curious.
I think mine turns out even more lopsided. It's so like floppy. Also, Ellie, yes, you should do whatever that is. Go to the gay bar. I want to go to a gay bar.
Mm-hmm.
Go meet
Yeah,
people. I want to go to a drag show.
Same.
The thing is, like, Pride here is always during con weekend, so it's like I'm always too tired.
no.
Yeah, it's literally fucked up.
No, it overlaps. Let's go to both.
Please, I do the Swissy little infinite 8. How do you write 8?
Infinite 8.
I feel like that's more common than the 2 circles.
Yeah, I've always done the infinite 8. I try to do the 2 circles, like this doesn't feel right.
It's no.
So
That's
it's
how I feel about
definitely-
both the infinite 8 and the 2 circles.
I see.
Do you start 8s from the top or the bottom?
Me? Are you asking me or are you asking
Yeah,
chat?
I think you. No, Aaron asked you, I think.
I start in the middle.
How the fuck do you start in the middle?
I just do.
How do you?
I don't know how to.
But you start the don't you start the top of the infinity or the bottom of the infinity? How the fuck do you start the middle
No.
of it?
I start in the middle. I just do, like.
What the fuck?
I
What
start
the
in the middle
hell?
and then I go to the top and then I complete at the bottom.
You can start anywhere along it, but my brain is gonna be like, that's the top now. My brain goes up or down. You can't. Yeah, I guess. But if I try to start from the middle, like, it's just, my brain's gonna be like, well, this is either the top or the bottom, depending on which way I go. I guess I shouldn't fucking talk, because I draw 2 3s. So I guess,
Yeah, I always.
I start from the top of the 3, and then I do the backwards 3 from the top also, in case you were curious.
Wow.
But yeah, that's how I write my 8s, a secret third way. It's like a pun because it's the double 3s. It's a secret third way. Start from the middle of the 3. Nico would be drawing 2 circles. No, I could backtrack. I could backtrack to the middle. I could go up, backtrack to the middle, and then do down. I could do that. It'd be fucking insane, but I could do it. Maybe I'll do it from now on.
Start from the middle.
Start from the middle. So you do the top of the 3 first, then you backtrack to the middle, and then do the bottom.
Oh my god. Let me do that right now.
Alright,
That feels
How did it feel?
weird.
If you want to be insane, don't let me stop you. Maybe I barely write anything anymore because I'm not in school anymore. But next time I write an 8, I'll remember that. Cove frowned absent-mindedly. Okay, wait. I think brushed his hands on his pants. Okay, yeah. We read this before we started talking about 8s
Dates. And knives.
and
Elizabeth,
knives.
You should. You should. Oh no, I think it was forks.
And
not
well,
knives.
and knives too. Forks and knives.
Oh yeah, that's true. Elizabeth, you should know. After all these years, Cove is hardly a guest anymore.
He's like family. Cove smiled awkwardly.
Thanks.
Manners. Joke that Derek is basically an adult. Next time Derek really is going to stay inside and cook, he's practically a mini adult.
If he's joining us grown-ups, then you're going to have to treat him like one.
Oh, hell no. Okay, so Mr. Suarez, how go your taxes? That's totally how adults talk. Derek shook his head and chuckled. Everyone ate their meal together and continued to hang out for the afternoon. After the food, you and the others played a couple games and talked about plans for the upcoming year. The time passed by quickly, and soon it was time to part ways. Mr. Holden talked to your moms, and Cove drifted over to you, knowing that as soon as his dad finished up, he would be leaving.
It'd be cool to stay, but we have some stuff to do before everything closes today.
Okay.
Yeah, bye. Could you move? I need the phone.
Cove raised an eyebrow, and Elizabeth impatiently gestured behind him. Cove realized he was standing right in front of where the receiver was placed. He sidestepped out of the way and shook his head, clearly thinking Elizabeth was rushing too much. Your sister made a beeline for the phone and started dialing the number of what you figured was one of her friends. Knowing Elizabeth, she was going to be on there for a while. You, Cove, and Derek shuffled closer to the door. It seemed like Mr. Holden was wrapping up his conversation, so everyone started saying their various farewells.
Talk to you later.
See you later, Cove. We gotta do this again sometime.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, see you.
Cove turned to you and smiled slightly.
Bye, Groovy.
You nudged Cove's shoulder. You elbowed Cove's shoulder playfully. I'll see you later.
I'd hope so. It's been fun.
He grinned widely and nudged you back. There was a warm look in his eyes that you wondered when you'd see again.
Dude.
Seriously, dude, we'll have to hang out later. I'm gonna miss you during school.
Oh yeah, because he goes to a different school. He's like from a different town.
Yeah.
Aw, I'm gonna miss him. I know like we're not physically going to school and we'll actually see him very soon.
Yeah.
He offered Cove a high five and the two boys clapped their hands together. Cove and his dad left soon after that. Your parents started cleaning up the house and Elizabeth was still chatting to her friends on the phone. It was just you and Derek left. He elected to stay outside in front of the house to wait for his dad to pick him up. You decided to keep your guest company, although he was originally Cove's visitor. Yeah, why is he at our house? A light summer breeze blew through your hair, and Derek shifted his weight from foot to foot.
Thanks for waiting with me.
He kicked out the ground distractedly.
Well,
That's still gonna be a while, so do you want to go for a walk?
I guess this is where, like, the confession scene with him would happen if you, like, chose the Derek route. Sure, I don't
Probably.
mind. The two of you walked down the street, again, just wandering without a destination planned. It was a quiet stroll, too quiet for Derek being the company. You turned to him when you had noticed that he wasn't saying a word. That was unusual. Derek always had something he could chat about. You weren't sure if you should ask about it. Somehow you ended up at the old park near the beach. You glanced over to Derek once more, still expecting him to say something any second now. However, nothing came from him. In fact, now you noticed a frown creeping on his face. Derek smiled when he realized you were watching. At least his mouth was turned up. There wasn't anything that really felt happy in that expression. He turned away and the smile fell off his face. Derek, do you like me? Derek, do you have a crush on me? His eyes stared intently at the ground and you raised an eyebrow. Is everything okay? Aww.
I'm a little sad. Oh no. It's just, with school starting back up again, it's gonna be hard to visit. I'm gonna have homework and clubs and practices and everything else.
Damn, you're a busy boy.
Sucks.
It really sucks we go to different schools.
Yeah. His face screwed up and his fists were closed tightly together. This was really concerning him.
What if we don't have time?
I think I'd also be worried about that. I was thinking about that too. We've hung out so much this summer, it's going to be really different not seeing you around as much. Derek shook up at the sky. Derek looked up at the sky. It was orange and purple with little wisps of clouds scattered around. A plane flew high with a jet stream trail behind it. Then he turned to the ground again. Derek's face was tilted far enough down that it was harder to read his expression.
Hey Groovy, I actually want to talk to you about something, if you don't mind.
Hello? There was a pause, and you waited for him to finish his thought.
Sorry.
I was just kind of wondering, do you like guys at all? Like, would you ever want to be with someone who was a boy? Sorry if that's weird to ask.
I love this because, like, my gender is, like, unspecified. I could be with a guy.
Okay, then.
He hesitated before finishing his question.
So,
So, what I mean is, is there any guy you think is kind of cool that you like around here, not at school or anything like that?
Do you like boys? I'm a boy. Oh, it's a crush on me. I feel so bad. Wait, I have a question. Could you be polyamorous?
I am not sure.
I don't want to risk it. I think I just want to do a pure Cove run too.
Yeah, I'm not too sure with this because when I played it, I don't know if Derek's route was available at this time. I don't know if I got this scene at all.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't remember my mind.
Yeah, no worries. I might just do a pure, even if it was possible. I think I might do a pure Cove run, make him the main character. Okay, wait. He ducked his head further. You already knew the answer. You had confronted the very topic this afternoon. I'm kind of like, oh my god. Well, I trust him. Well, I like Cove. Derek chuckled and didn't look at all surprised.
Yeah, I kind of thought so. That's cool.
Wow, that's so epic. You like boys? That's awesome.
That's awesome. I really hope things work out. Thanks for answering my random questions.
He shot you a thumbs up.
I hope we'll always be friends,
Of
no
course.
matter what.
Okay, so I think he was going to confess, but he's like, all right, you like someone.
Mm-hmm. Even if we don't see each other for a long time, or if we get really busy, I still hope.
He cut himself off and met your eyes. There was something serious to him, sincerely worried that you'd fall out of friendship. I hope so too. I always want us to be friends forever. Derek smiled, mostly to himself. He seemed a little more like the usual. Wait, you like boys? Thumbs up, yeah.
Then for sure, we have to make the most of next year. Then the year after that, and the year after that.
He rambled on for a while about things.
We'll just make the most of every year.
Right. You smiled and felt like your friendship was still strong. You didn't spend much longer at the park after that. Derek didn't want to miss his dad, so you both made your way back to your street. Derek found all kinds of fun things to talk about as you walked side by side back to your street. Then you plopped down on the curb outside your house, hugging your arms around your legs. His voice was comforting, and you were grateful that Derek was keeping you both distracted from the inevitable. For a little while longer, it was still summer vacation. You listened while he excitedly told you all about the new action movie coming out in the next few months. And then you watched his brow pinch as he described the new ball tricks he'd been working on perfecting. Blech. It was easy to laugh alongside his tales. You enjoyed the shine in his green eyes most when the conversation shifted to funny stories about his little brothers. It was almost hard to believe that time had passed at all when a couple of short honks rang out in the neighborhood. Snickering, Derek scratched the back of his head. His what tricks? Like soccer ball. Soccer ball. Soccer.
Yes, soccer.
Soccer.
Dad's here.
You look up the street and spotted the van coming around the corner. Mrs. Suarez cheerily waved her arms out the window from the shotgun seat. Okay, good. He's a little sports
too.
boy.
Guess we know what that means.
I guess like they're heading all the way home.
Mm-hmm.
Derek rose to his feet and brushed some dirt off his pants. You followed his lead as the car rolled up to a stop in front of your house. The van's side doors slowly and laboriously opened. On the inside was George. Was it George or Jorge? That's Jorge, right?
I think so. I think.
Okay, Jorge with a victoriously wide grin as he tugged the heavy door open the rest of the way, so Derek had a way in.
Hi.
Well, yeah. Nicholas was there too. You heard him well before you saw him.
We're here.
They're so cute. I forgot how cute they were. Looking past Jorge, you found Nicholas bouncing against his straps in full force.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Hey boys, nice seeing you. Holding onto the sides of the open door, Derek leaned into the car to give Nicola a moment of one-on-one attention. You could hear the kids' giggles over everything else. Faintly, you could hear that a conversation was happening between Derek's parents, but you couldn't make out a single word. And before you could do anything with that thought, Derek glanced over his shoulder. He paused and held your gaze softly. And then Derek let go of the car to stand back in front of you one last time.
I've gotta go. Well, you know that. Bye-bye. It was really cool hanging out today in the summer.
Not even his usual cheery enthusiasm could keep his sadness away this time. His voice grew quieter, and he scuffed his foot on the pavement.
We had a
Aww.
good summer break, huh?
Aww.
But it had to end sometime.
I wouldn't have wanted to spend it without you. Aww. Derek's gaze had been wandering, but now it was fixed solely on you in awe. His whole demeanor brightened.
Really?
Yeah, I want to make him feel like he belongs. I don't want him to feel like he's like the odd man out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. You always make things better. I can't imagine summer break without you now.
Me either.
He needs a hug. Holding him tightly, you just weren't ready to let him go yet. Derek chuckled and gave your back a few pats.
I'll miss you too.
But the time had finally come, and Derek hopped up into the cabin of the van. Jorge and Nicola waved to you from their seats. The adults shouted their goodbyes next from the front. You laughed at their muffled voices, and Mrs. Suarez leaned out her window. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were trying to say something.
Have a good one.
We realized you probably couldn't hear us. Mr. Suarez and I just want to say goodbye, Groovy. Yes, goodbye.
Derek's dad leaned over his wife to give his farewells. Bye, thanks for the fun summer. You turned to Jorge and Nicola because it really wouldn't have been the same without them. Of the two, Jorge seemed to be the one listening, and he watched his stunned look melt into a warm one.
Take care, Groovy.
Then Derek closed the door for Jorge this time. He moved the massive door with much more ease. After the car moved further down the street before flipping around to drive up the hill and ran out of the neighborhood. You remained rooted there to the curb and watched the Suarez family drive away. You were relieved you got a chance to see the whole family again. But they were gone, and you were left to your own devices. Pivoting around, you made your way inside. Now that it was quiet, you yawned and decided that it was a good time to settle down for the night. Stretching your arms over your head, you noticed that the living room and the phone happened to be free. Let's call Lee. You picked up the receiver and quickly punched in the familiar number while going to take a seat on the couch. Soon enough, after explaining the situation to the housekeeper, Lee answered. Damn, I forgot. Was our cousin, like, rich?
Yeah, I think she's rich.
Damn, girl. Hi, Lee. Can you talk? Oh, I got to tell her everything.
We practically have to. My gosh, can you believe it's almost time for school to start? What happened to our summer?
School starts first thing tomorrow for me.
Boo.
Ew, and I thought starting next week was bad enough.
Enjoy your last week.
Oh, I will. I hope you survive your first day.
Me too. I need a good year.
Ditto. And at least summer was nice while it lasted, right? You were busy.
Yeah. Finally, you thought about all the best memories you made this summer. Lee was there for some, but there were still many you hadn't filled her in on yet. You reminisced about a moment of your summer. You began to speak about, let's say, about the talent show. Where was that? Oh, I guess we don't give a shit about it. Oh no, this is the ones that she wasn't there for.
Yeah.
The road trip. I went on a vacation. Ko's parents ended up inviting my whole family on an RV road trip.
Really?
Whoa, that's awesome.
It was a 3-day trip, and we visited the Redwood National Forest.
Lucky.
Ko snuck up onto the loft where I was staying.
What?
Cove did. Wait, start at the beginning.
It took a while until you stopped laughing from Lee's reaction, long enough to tell her every detail of the story. She excitedly squealed more than once.
I can't believe you've been holding out on me with such a juicy story.
Nothing really happened. I mean, we almost kissed.
Yeah. Keep telling yourself that. You have to keep me updated on what happens next.
It was hard to focus on what she was saying. Your face was probably red right now, just thinking about what happened. Let's talk about something else. Let's see. Oh, that was fun. Oh, one time Kove's mom had me and Kove go with her on the on this ride all over town. Wasn't I also bare
Why'd you do
feet?
that? Yeah, I was bare feet.
Oh my god.
Just cuz?
Sort of. We got caught in a sun shower and she wanted to help us air dry and kept going from there. Went to a movie without even knowing what it was. It was this ghost horror movie and was actually fun to watch.
Really? What happened in it?
You took a little time to explain to her the events of the film. She listened very entertained. Or entertained. What else do we want to talk about? Let's talk about the soiree where we danced with Kove. I went to a soiree with my mom's country club. There was lots of food, dancing, and people dressed up formally.
Oh, I've been to one of those. They're cool, but how did it go for you?
I just wore like nasty ass jeans. Kove gave me a flower. It was my favorite kind.
That's so sweet. Wait, was he your date?
Yeah.
Ooh.
After laughing a bit, you dove into telling Lee everything about your night with Kove. You enjoyed sharing that memory with her. Let me just see if there's anything else I want to talk about. Talk about big things. Miranda's birthday party was pretty big. I went with Kove to a birthday party. It was for a classmate we had, Miranda.
Birthday parties are always fun.
There was a bounce house, games, and cake, and ice cream.
She knows how to throw a party.
Let's talk about Jeremy. Does she know about Jeremy?
Oh.
Jeremy, wait. He was that neat new kid, right?
Uh-huh. I stood up against him.
That's what I'm talking about.
Pretty sure I pushed him on his ass.
Yeah.
Your outburst had you grinning, thinking back on the memory. It felt pretty good. Okay, wait, one more. I think there was one more I wanted to mention. This one's pretty important. One night, Ko's parents invited me over for dinner at their house for the first time. Mr. Holden made Mexican food. That's important to say. I mean, I don't think I kept it a secret. I just think it's something I wouldn't have told her.
He paid you to be friends with Cove?
Sorry for not saying anything. Back when they moved in, I met Mr. Holden first, and he asked me to be Cove's friend. He said he'd give me $20 to do it. I wanted to tell Cove, but it was hard.
Oh, totally. That's awkward and dramatic.
It really was.
It's good that you finally told him about it.
I'm glad it's not a secret anymore. You moved on to talk about her. What was your big highlight of the summer, Lee?
Talking to you is always the best part of my summer.
Oh, shucks. Even though it was a phone call, you just knew that Lee was winking at you. Good, I'm glad you picked the right answer. That had Lee laughing hard for a few moments.
Alright, okay. So, a high point for me was when I took that trip with my parents to Europe. That was amazing.
Jesus Christ!
She went to Europe.
Damn, rich kid! You and Lee continued to go over your adventures until you were both yawning to each other over the phone. I feel like this is coming on a bit too strong. Let's start with just like, I told him I had a crush on him. There was a pause of silence. Knowing your cousin, you decided to pull your ear away from the phone. As expected, a screech loud enough for you to still make out clearly from a distance crackled through the speaker. When you felt it was safe, you put the phone back against your head. Lee was still gushing to herself, though a little less loudly.
Why didn't you say so sooner? He had to have kissed you back, right? You two are the most perfect pair ever. Tell me, please.
You used the precious little time you had left to try filling her in as best as you were capable of in the moment. But soon the approach of curfew became too much for you to ignore, despite how excited the both of you were. At that, you decided it was time to say goodbye for now. You decided you did have school to wake up to in the morning. Bye, Lee.
Bye.
Night, Groovy. Talk to you later.
You left the phone on the side of the table for now. Looking at the clock on the wall, you saw that there was only about 10 minutes until your mom's would be insisting you had to go to bed so you could be rested enough for school. You stretched your legs on the couch and sighed in defeat, watching the minute hand change 1 minute closer to bedtime. You arranged yourself, feeling restless, and looked out the window, startled initially. You spotted a figure out on the hills. It was Cove. Cove! When the surprise faded, you realized it really wasn't that much of a shock at all. It was exactly something Cove would do. Now I'm gonna go see him. Smack the window to get his attention. Grinning, you sneakily crept over to the window. When you were right in front of the glass, you slapped both your hands hard against it. Cove's body visibly jumped where he stood, and his head whipped around, trying to find the source of the noise. When he noticed the clattering in the window behind him, a window from your house, he tried to shake his head in disapproval, but even from that distance, you knew he was smiling. Amused with your own antics, you waved at Cove. You ran off to go see him. Sprinting, you reached the front door in record time. Yo! There's the fireflies! When you arrived, you noticed how many fireflies were out that night. They drifted along lazily, barely minding your presence as you wadded through to reach the top of the hill. Cove turned towards you as you approached, and you noticed right away that Cove was still a little sour about the scare. Sorry.
Hi.
You grinned in response to Cove's look, and he shook his head in defeat. Sighing dramatically, he seemed to finally let it go. Hey, what are you doing out here?
Nothing. Not really.
He shrugged, seemingly unhappy with his own answer. You stared at him, waiting for him to continue.
Well, I guess I was feeling kind of weird about stuff, so I'm getting some fresh air before bed.
I know how you feel. It's hard to stay still. Tomorrow's going to be the start of a new year. At the mention of school, a small noise escaped him. Cove let himself fall back onto his butt, and then all the way down, so he was laying on his back. He looked up at the sky. I'll just lay down. I ain't gonna do that. You lowered yourself to lay back on the hill. He had been lost in thought, or was possibly waiting for you to situate yourself. But he started speaking unprompted again.
Thanks for telling me about my dad and the money he offered you to be my friend.
This was probably the last thing you were expecting out of him. Cove seemed to pick up on that and stretched his arms out wide in front of him.
I mean,
This is where we met, remember? It happened that day.
Yeah. You could recall the sad little boy with a pink cast who you found in this very spot. It felt like a lifetime ago.
I kind of have a strange feeling looking at you. Not in a bad way. Just thinking about you then and really seeing you now. It's something.
Aw. He turned his face away from you. You got the impression he was trying to hide a blush. It was almost unbelievable how much of an impact he made on your life just by moving in next door. You couldn't even imagine what your days might have looked like in a world where you hadn't met him. Cove glanced back at you, waiting for a response, and you had no idea what to say. Then, still without a word from you, Cove shook his head strongly. What?
It's you.
What? Huh? He snickered before answering. He looked thoroughly amused with your reaction.
That's what you do all the time, so I'm being you.
What?
What?
What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Well, I guess I'm fucking stunned. I'm like, he stun locked me. There was no response that you could give, but you noticed Ko smiling softly at you. He wasn't trying to be mean with it. Honestly, there weren't many people you could think of who could tease you about something like that. Returning his smile, you realized there was no denying that you two have been around each other for a long time. Ko broke the quiet before it fully settled.
see you tomorrow.
Oh, well, finish a sentence for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see you then. With a final wave, Cove headed for home. But you stayed there a few minutes longer. Your mind kept going back to his simple statement, see you tomorrow. No matter how much was changing around you, there was some things in your life that always seemed to remain true. The hills felt warm to you that night. Before you knew it, you were getting comfortable under the covers in your room. Your mind couldn't help but still be buzzing with thoughts about the future. It was hard to think about Cove. There hadn't been enough time to really figure it all out after what happened between you. You felt like nervous and excited. I guess excited more. There was a little doubt in your mind that things were moving forward, and you couldn't wait to find out what changes were waiting for you on the horizon. Slowly, your eyes grew heavy as you drifted off to sleep, your mind spinning with wishful thoughts. No matter what happened next, you could only hope that you would make the most of it. You were ensnared in a dream when a noise from the outside world jostled you. Your eyes snapped open. The light clatter continued. Now that you were more alert, you could distinguish it was tapping sound. Quiet, slow, but persistent. Each beat was like being poked. You couldn't ignore it. You lifted your head from the pillow and looked for the source. Not much work was needed to puzzle it out. It was from the window. With that, you knew exactly what it was. From the color of the light filtering your room, it was too early for anyone to be awake, including the sun. It had barely hauled itself over the horizon, but that didn't stop some people, it seemed. You sat up in the bed and opened the window. Opened the window wide. Cool air, not yet warmed by the day, tickled your face as it pushed into your room. And just as you'd expected, there was your neighbor crouching on your windowsill. He was fully dressed, though not for school. What the fuck are you doing? Oh! Hi!
What?
He was wearing his wetsuit and a shy smile.
Hi, Groovy.
What the fuck? You stared back at blinking.
So technically we won't be back to school for a few more hours.
His voice was delicate, yet deliberate. Each word a careful explanation.
Classes haven't actually started yet, so do you want to hit the beach with me one more time this summer?
I mean, damn.
It's so early, damn.
You're crazy. He's so cute. Only Cove would think of something like this, but that was part of what made him special to you. You rushed to get changed and I love that it took my "you're crazy" for "fuck yes," because that's exactly how I meant it. Suitable, while Cove climbed back down to ground level. Your limbs, still half asleep, struggled somewhat as you attempted to coordinate them into a swimsuit, but you got there in the end. Soon you were tiptoeing out your front door, clutching a towel over... clutching a towel! Cove was already there to greet you. Your eyes met. Cove's gaze darted to your destination and back to you. You checked the door was closed, gave him a thumbs up, and the two of you leapt into action. Wordlessly, you began to run down the familiar path ahead, Cove beside you. The thrill of your illicit outing made you want to laugh, not that you dared. If anyone in your family looked out the window and saw you then, your summer would be back to being over. One glance at Cove told you that he was exactly the same, holding back snickers for fear of being heard and caught. The towel streamed out from under your arms like a cape. You were running so fast downhill that simply keeping your balance and not tumbling down was a real threat. It wasn't enough of one to make you slow your pace. For every step you took, the beach was a little closer and the day a little brighter. What lay ahead for you would arrive, and you were happy to meet it.
Oh.
In between. Oh, wait, there's an in between? Is this gonna be? Huh.
I think that's for the third step.
Maybe. I'll keep my eyes. Did I make my hair? So I can only pick one, okay. Wait, voice name. Why do I only have this one? I'm pretty sure there's more. I have like the DLC, whatever. Okay, wait, did I hair back? Yeah, we could do this. There we go. For a change page. Keep the same. Earrings, none. Ring. Oh, that's fun. Put a ring on. Headscarf. Oh! I do not wear those, but that's fucking nice. Let's put long. Blue. Is there blue? Yes. Nose ring. Oh, I get to put a nose ring on. I'm not gonna do that though. Okay. Done. Okay, comfort. My feelings for Cove. Well, love, I think, now. I think, like, we're more... He knows I have a crush. I think, like, things happened. We're kind of, like, in a situation.
We're in a situation, yes.
See, comfort is relaxed. Or maybe... direct. Maybe more direct. We're more direct now. Okay, let's just save this. I never know where the... You look so cute. Thank you. Just save this here. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, yeah, okay. The in-between is just the... I thought it was like a cutscene. I don't know why. Okay, so no, not yet. Well, Belle, how are we feeling?
I can go for, like, the prologue of step 3.
It might be kind of long. Is that okay? Wasn't it, like, long last time? It's up to you.
I don't remember. Yeah, I'm totally fine. I don't start work until...
Okay, if you're sure. If you want to stop at any time, let me know.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Yes. Yes, we're ready. No. Wait, co-customization? Neither. He's going to be his own person. Since you're romantically interested in Cove and are old enough to start being physically affectionate more seriously, you can choose what initiative level he has throughout the step. That was a fun menu. Yeah, it's a cute menu. I love the customization. Mm-hmm. Making sure the player experiences what they want is important in our life, but always putting your choice first can potentially make a relationship feel one-sided. So we've added some flexibility in how it works. Low initiative means that Cove will occasionally ask to touch the main character, and in those situations, there will always be an opportunity to say yes or no. Like, this is written so fucking well. I can't imagine how much fucking work has been put into this. Like, oh my god. For example, he won't simply lean over and kiss the main character as a greeting or in an emotional moment. Every piece of physical interaction will either be initiated or approved by the player before it happens. Middle initiative means there will be those certain times when Cove requests to touch the main character, many chances to initiate affection on your own, and also he'll pretty regularly give affection automatically. One example would be giving the main character a kiss because he's happy or emotional or something else. And in other situations, you can choose not to make the first move in order to give Cove the space to be the one to act affectionate. I like this a lot. Overall, the love interest can get romantic, but the player's agency will take priority. High initiative includes everything middle does, but it also means that player agency will be reduced to a degree in favor of having Cove give physical affection even more frequently and with less prompting. Instead of all the major affection giving situations being led by a choice menu for you to decide on some, will instead be replaced by Cove acting automatically. I think I'll do middle. This level is only recommended if you're very uncomfortable with physical affection and would prefer to simply see it happen rather than always holding the reins on it. However, this level is mostly relevant if Cove ends up as your official boyfriend at some point. Situations where high-level initiative makes a difference tend to come up in scenes that are exclusive to being in a relationship. The parts that are also included in the middle initiative which will be seen whether you're dating or not. Once you pick your level, it can't be changed partway through a step. The choice only comes up at the very beginning of a story section. We hope you enjoy whichever initiative option you decide on. Oh boy. I'm like in between middle and high. I don't know. Do you have an onion on it?
I don't really have an onion. Like, you can just go for whatever you want.
I think I might do
If
middle.
you want
for
to take
now.
the reins, then middle
Yeah.
initiative.
Okay. Using the direct comfort level. Let's go. The start of classes ended the relaxed, free days of summer. It didn't take long for you to get back into the swing of the school year routine. Schedules and homework become the new normal. Derek wasn't around nearly as much. With school and after-school activities, there weren't many opportunities for him to take the trip out to your neighborhood. I like surprises that come from high. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but I think I might stick to middle. Sometimes you'd hear that he was at a training camp or something like that, but you weren't always there. You always weren't sure what he was up to. But you're so iconic and valid. Thank you. No! We'll keep calling. I didn't get any surprises while playing. I just mean content. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. The Jeremy kid did disappear after the summer, and no one ever heard from him again. Where he went or what he might be up to was a mystery. You saw more of Miranda around since you had hung out with her on her birthday. She had opened up to you. The two of you talked regularly. She was the same towards Cove. After a while, the three of you developed a real friendship together. Yes, I wanted to be friends with her! More summers came and went, like the waves on the shore coming in and out. In your second year of high school, someone new started to visit Sunset Bird, a sunny girl named Terry Brooke. She was a friend of Cove, made due to them both being ocean obsessed. Terry was more than glad to befriend you too. Someone close to Cove had to be good company, she felt. You were pleased to get along with her as well. Funnily enough, Terry was also extremely tight with Miranda, who she had also known even longer than Cove. The four of you were able to create a small friend circle. Fuck yeah! As for your home life, the Tronicos also had developments. Changing laws and public perception countrywide made it possible for your moms to openly wear their wedding rings. Yeah, let's fucking go! Gay rights, let's go, my gay moms, let's go! It's so awesome! Wear their wedding rings without questions. Though they had a wedding ring years ago, it only recently that the union was officially recognized everywhere in the U.S. That was a good day, to say the least. Elizabeth came into her own and stopped being quite irritable. She no longer worried about perceived childishness as she grew up for real. She didn't even mind being called Lizzie again. Yay, Lizzie! Although most people used Liz. She eventually graduated high school and moved out to attend college in another state. No! It was a lot for you to adjust to. Your older sister being gone, Liz never let you forget her role in your life. And kept in touch. Let's fucking go. Cole's relationship with his family improved over the years. Kyra visited several times after that summer, and things became easier between the two. He was also closer with his dad than ever before. Yes! You
Yay.
knew that they talked more, and that helped prevent a lot of friction before it could start. And Cove only continued to open up to his parents and the rest of the world. He was so bright, he shone. He would willingly join conversations, make jokes, and put in effort not to use overly blunt phrasing. Cove had shifted from preferring athletics to becoming more seriously studious as his schooling went on. Return affection. Start step 3 using the crush or love interest level. Nice. Things had shifted between you two. Between you and Cove. But in a way that most couldn't see. After all this time, he wasn't just your neighbor, he was only your friend. He wasn't only your friend or even a guy you were interested in. You were in love with him. Ah! You loved Cove. You knew that fact for certain. There was no one else you held those feelings for. It was strange to look back on it. Back on it all. The future faded into your present. And then it was simply the past. Even the most fundamental parts of your life couldn't last forever. You felt that the most pointedly the day you inevitably graduated high school. Okay, yeah, so this is after high school. It was over, and you would not be going back ever again. From now on, what came next was your choice. You would be directing your own life. That was where you were currently. The summer after school had ended, the first summer of your true freedom. What used to be a reprieve from the typical was now going to be your first step into adulthood. One summer morning, you took in what had become a very special scene. The whole family having a meal together. Oh, she's so pretty! Oh my god, she wears those bangs so well. Let's fucking go. Your big sister Liz still hadn't lived at home full time for a couple years, but she arrived last week to spend the season here since it was an off semester for her. She wanted to make sure she was in town because you now also graduated high school, so who knew how much rarer these moments would become in the future. You watched on as Liz laughed good-naturedly over a comment Mom made. Her Elizabeth only mindset had only been a phase. Nearly any nickname was welcome at this point in her life. My girl, she's so cute. Strangely, even though she'd moved away, you'd lately felt closer to her than you had in a long time. So she's like not like I'm too cool to hang out with you. She's like my supportive sister. Wait until you see her in the sun hat, this fucking sun hat. You idly scooped up more of your breakfast and chewed absentmindedly. Yeah, you ate whatever. And the meal you had reflected that. It included just about everything your moms had made, though you often made your own food nowadays. With Liz around, though, your parents made even more options than usual. Your sister had been vegetarian for a while, and they had wanted to make sure she had choices too. Oh, there's the gray hairs, and she's getting eye bag. Oh, this is my family.
Yeah.
Oh. Conversation had gone on idly without you fully taking in the words until your ears were picked when Ma started on a bit of town gossip.
And so that's how I heard the news. All right. Now stop burning the lead.
Yeah,
and
I think
tell
the
us,
lead.
What is this so-called news?
Ma giggled as she cast a look across the table, satisfied that she had everyone's attention.
Well, it turns out that Donald's won't be renting out the condo up the street as per Sunset River tradition. For the first time in what must be nearly 2 decades.
A chorus of gasps and shocked expressions were had all around. After the initial shock, your eyebrows pinched. Mom may consider them by name, but you and Liz always viewed them exclusively as the mean old couple who would yell at anyone under 25 who crossed their path. I kind of remember them. Your ma continued on with the story, spreading a strawberry jam over a piece of toast as she did so.
They've decided not to take big trips anymore. Friends and family will be visiting them at their home.
I always thought burying the lead rhymed with bread. Bead. Burying the lead. Wait, no, you're right. It probably is that. No. I think you're right. I don't even fucking know. I never heard anyone say that. I know the phrase exists, but I'd never heard it in conversation.
It's nice for them. Oh, that's nice for them then. Have a good summer means grandparents with no grandkids away from us.
I mean, they're just old people. That's a relief.
Be nice, kids.
They were mean to us.
You don't want to end up like them, do you?
You and your sister cracked smiles at the joke.
Well,
At least they won't be here to yell at my children anymore.
Lonnie.
And that blunt comment got laughter from all three of you. Engrossed in conversation once more, you continued to chat with your family until the meal was over. Ooh, what's gonna happen? Step 3, third time's charm.
That's a charm.
As it went, once the food was eaten, the cleanup had to be done. Liz took the role of washing the dishes and passed them to you for drying and putting away. You had a set of cups in front of you that needed to go on the top shelf of the cabinet. Oh, it's like an average height. That may not seem like much to others, but it was a noticeable change from how small you used to be. I don't think about it much. That part of yourself was never something you really figure out your thoughts on. Liz shook you out of your internal musing by starting. She's so cute and mature. Oh my god, she's so beautiful. Internal musing by starting up an impromptu conversation. She seemed to be voicing the thoughts that had been buzzing around in her own head.
I have to say, going back for another semester this fall is pretty intimidating. I think after the first year or two I'd have a handle on things, but no.
You stole a glance at her, still placing cups in the proper place.
I guess it's only fair. My first round was pretty general classes, and year 1 of my architecture major was the basics.
Ooh, she's going into architecture.
Now it feels serious. I have to actually know some things.
The laugh she gave was flippantly airy, but the way she scrubbed at the plates held more force than necessary. That's what I've heard too. Wait, I don't know any. Oh yeah, I think you guys are right. I don't know shit, man. I think it's cool. I mean, that's what I just thought.
Don't be too impressed yet. Wait to see if it actually happens, but thanks.
Your older sister's mouth quirked into a small smile.
It'll be fine, one way or another.
Oh.
Oh, but I'm not trying to scare you away from college, if that's even your plan. What is going on with that anyway?
I'm gonna head out, beautiful. Have fun with the stream. Have fun at the gay bar if you're going there. Drink lots. But be safe. I guess a general idea. You answered the question as gonna send you an outfit pick on Yeah, thank you! You answered the question as much as you were able and willing to. Liz's smile grew more reassuring as you did.
You made it through 12 years of full-time education already. Got plenty going on for you.
Sometimes it still felt hard to believe your public schooling experience was over in the end. Ugh. Yeah, I guess here. How I feel. It was such a difficult experience, and it was finally finished. Liz picked up on the silence her question ended up creating. She decided it was time to make a closing statement on the topic.
You're a good kid.
You're a good kid, Groovy. Do what's best for you, and we'll be here to back it up.
Thanks. You're a good big sister. At that, Liz happily passed the final dish your way. She waved a soaked hand as a farewell and moved on to her next task for the cleanup job. You refocused on getting the last pieces put back where they belonged. You eventually moved on to a new chore, but that was interrupted by the sound of your cell phone. You said one of the most beloved songs is your ringtone. I don't know, I just have the default ringtone. You casually picked it up from the table where you had placed it earlier. The phone was a couple years old at this point, having been a 16th birthday gift from your parents. Damn, that fucking long? They decided which model to get, but you got to pick the color it was. My phone's just black. I need a charm. I wish phones, you can't even put charms on. They don't have like the special holder for charms anymore. This fucking sick and insane and mad. Which was?
Absolutely maddening.
Oh, I put the turtle keychain. You were pleased when you finally had a permanent place to use the gift. The screen lit up as you gave the little device a swipe with one finger. You were informed by the caller ID that it was Lee. You weren't surprised. Despite having busier and busier lives and not living in the same town, you still had a good relationship with your cousin of the same age. Especially once the miracle of the both of you having your own phones actually happened, she got hers first though. Tapping at the accept button, you answered her call. A familiar, bubbly voice came through her right after.
Hi.
She's so cute! Oh, it has the keychain!
Oh,
Oh!
that's cute. Hey, Groovy.
She's so cute. Sup?
I trust I'm not interrupting anything major.
Only some cleaning around the house.
Oh, then you're welcome for my call. The distraction from that must have been desperately needed.
Yes, thank you, my dear cousin.
My pleasure.
She giggled, and you could hear the jangling of the jewelry she must have been wearing.
Nothing amazing is happening for me either. I'm bored and felt like chatting. My morning shift ended, so I'm free for the rest of the day. Woo!
That's good. I think at this point I was working. Like you, Lee had started dipping her toes into the workforce as of late. It made keeping in touch frequently even more complicated, but you both managed.
What about you?
It's been pretty normal.
Cool.
That's you then. So, how's Mr. Coldholden doing?
There was a teasing bent to her tone. She was never willing to let up on what was going on between the two of you. But the name was incredibly familiar to your ears. Cove, your next-door neighbor, for the past decade at this point. But he was far more than just someone who lived on the same street. You vividly remember the summer day you expressed feelings for each other as little 13-year-olds. Aww! Let's say years ago. Okay, wait. And you were in love with him, but that was one thing you hadn't admitted yet. And you were in love with him, but you didn't want to talk about that at this point in your life. I don't mind. Just how we haven't admitted it yet, I guess.
Are you even surviving without the boy being 10 feet away at all times? Or is everything right with the world again and he's back?
No, Lee, he isn't here, just like he wasn't here yesterday or the last time you asked. Or the time before that.
Sorry.
Oh, my bad. Can you blame me? Doesn't it seem like he should have made his grand return already? Plus, I want to visit soon and he needs to be there too.
You could understand where she was coming from. This was certainly outside the norm. For the past couple of months, and the last few weeks especially, Cove had been going to his mom's place in Nevada. The two of you still regularly stayed in contact over texts and calls, but still. Your mind began to drift back in time to all the prior trips he'd taken to visit her. Almost every year he'd have to go away for a while and then he'd be back. I think, like, I feel lonely. I'm glad he's visiting his mom, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him stuff to take. Some were just to borrow, and others were for him to keep forever. He sent you letters while there in return. Aww. That's how it was in the past, but lately he had been trying to see her as much as he could before taking long trips to another state became too impractical to do. His part-time work could become full-time soon, or he could be moving somewhere else for school. Cove hadn't actually been entirely clear what his plans were after graduation. Cove was hesitant to speak on that, even with you. It couldn't be avoided forever, though. You both knew that.
Well,
Ahem. Maybe we should switch this up to a non-Cove-related topic?
That works. The rest of the conversation rolled on, not much longer though. Lee had to go, and you needed to finish your responsibilities around the house. The both of you exchanged goodbyes, then you went back to what you'd been working on before the call came in. Oh, there's the sun hat! Slay!
Yes.
Yes! As you wrapped up the last of your chores, you were approached by Liz wearing a cheeky smile.
I've got mom's keys. Want to get out of this tiny town to do some shopping in a real city?
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, it's been way too long since I've gone anywhere exciting.
good.
I'm driving.
Yeah. I don't know how to drive.
Go get your wallet and anything else. We're going now.
With a nod, you made a quick detour to collect your stuff from your bedroom, as you had money saved up from all the part-time work you'd done, as well as from gifts you'd received. After making sure you both were fully prepared for the long haul to the largest city in the surrounding area, you buckled into the car. It was a smooth ride with light conversation about what shops to stop at and the radio blasting. Liz controlled what was played, but she made sure to pick songs she knew you liked. It was something the two of you had always done for each other. The trip there breezed by, and in what felt like no time, you had gone from cruising down the road to cruising through the mall. Liz had her interests to check out and yours. Your hobbies and skills are still ones you developed when you were younger. I think the same. When you turned a corner and you length of the mall, your eyes caught on a little gift store. Your friends and family had recently given you many presents for graduating high school. Let's get a gift for Cove. Graduation may have already come and gone, but Cove wasn't really around then anyway. You'd keep an eye out for something good, though you might have something nice for him at home already. Eventually, the mall was explored in full, with every shop of note being checked over. Rather than going home, you decided to walk over to some smaller stores nearby. Liz had many thoughts on that topic.
Honestly, malls are not a bastion of society. Even smaller stores require extra distance. The brands are so much more.
Then your sister abruptly stopped speaking and walking right in the middle of the path. It was a good thing no one was behind her. She seemed to entirely shut off for a moment. Liz? The attempt to catch her attention was unsuccessful. Something else had all her focus. Before you could puzzle out what might have been happening, she began to mumble out of the corner of her mouth.
Groovy, don't draw attention, but look.
If it's Jeremy, I'm gonna throw up. What? With a harsh whisper and a subtle jerk of her head, she urged you once more.
Hey.
Look.
You followed her gaze as best as you could to a large bunch of colorful teens strolling down the same path. Okay. You faced back to your sister with a confused expression and an unspoken question. What were you supposed to be seeing here? This part makes me crazy. Wait, do you know about this part?
I do. Groovy, doesn't one of them seem familiar?
Oh God, I'm so scared. She was practically bouncing at this point, so you looked the group over again, and this time you saw what she was seeing. It's not a Cove, is it? Ah!
It's
Shiloh! Oh my God, I was so sad! Oh, it's our friend. Look at his cute little hat.
I couldn't hear you.
Oh,
Discord cut off your screams.
oh, I was so sad because I thought he was gone for good. He's so cute. Sorry, I'm on such a big delay, but I know this part. That's fine. Also, didn't you leave? Why are you still here? Almost the collection of strangers with brown hair, gray eyes, and lots of freckles. I'm like, it can't be Shiloh.
That's Shiloh. Our Shiloh from when we were kids.
Yep, that was definitely him. Oh, we have to go up to see him.
I can't believe it. He's honestly just there. That's hilarious. That's incredible. Oh, but how do I talk to him? How to pull him away from all those other people, and what if I'm wrong?
Oh no, that's fucking him. That's him for goddamn sure. Your mouth opened to reply, but she cut it off with her own answer to the question.
I've got it. I'll shout the name Shiloh.
Stop!
Like it wasn't us. If he responds to that, we'll know without a doubt it's him. Ruby, keep an eye out and see if he looks.
Okay, bye. If you don't leave before I say bye-bye. Okay, fucking fine. Fine. Likely without even hearing what you had to say, Liz put her plan into action.
Shiloh!
She loudly projected the word across the way and then put on an act of casualness, turning her head away from the scene while brushing. She's so immature. Brushing at the skirt of her dress. In a supremely awkward moment, you could only stand there as attention in the area shifted to the two of you thanks to your sister's shout. But of the many startled bystanders who became altered to your presence, one of them was the boy. From a distance, his large eyes met yours. He looked. A wide grin took over Liz's face. She pushed the rim of her sun hat up and away from her face while swishing back around to greet her old friend directly.
Shiloh!
Waving, she stepped a bit closer to express her intention to meet, without really closing the gap. She wanted him to come to her. who you presume to be Shiloh, looked surprised at the call out. He stole a quick glance. Bye, I love Liz so fucking much. She's fucking funny. Bye. At the crowd, he was with and hesitantly glanced back at your way. He was trying to double check something. Liz remained steadfast with her gaze trained on him, and ultimately he broke away from the rest of them. After a light-footed jog across the brick path, the young man pleasantly presented himself in front of Liz and you.
Hi.
Ow!
I like your hat.
So cute. Just that simple greeting had Liz giggling.
Hey.
Hello. I'm not sure if you remember this, but I'm Lizzie and that's Groovy. We were all friends when we were little kids.
His already wide eyes grew even larger, their gaze darting between you and Liz. His previously chipper demeanor faded into something delicate. No, it's
I'm really
not!
sorry.
We're not! I'm not
I think
wrong!
you
I'm
have
not
the
wrong!
person.
No! What's your name then? Why'd you respond to Shiloh then, huh? You could tell not being instantly recognized was going to make this exchange more of a challenge. Still, Liz was undeterred.
It was a long time ago. You were really young. I get why you feel like that. However, I'm positive I'm right. You're exactly the same. That face, the freckles, how genially you try to phrase things. You're even still wearing a hat.
I mean, that doesn't mean shit. Instinctively, he looked up at his headwear with creased brows, not making the connection on why the hat meant something to her. Yeah.
We need each other, okay?
An uneasy smile settled on him as a silence followed Liz's speech. He was picking his next words carefully, and then the quiet was obliterated by a new voice bursting into the conversation. Hat glued to his head. It fucking grew.
Shiloh, what are you doing? The rest of the group already left. A field trip is not a vacation. We are on a schedule.
Oh, he's out on a fucking field trip. Startled, your head snapped towards the path. A distinctly unhappy individual with piercing magenta eyes, dark brown skin, and a sharp jaw stormed your way. He carried a cloud of authority with him, despite looking like he wasn't even 18 yet.
Sorry.
I didn't mean to ditch.
Shiloh, whose name was now officially confirmed, gestured with a hand to add to the explanation of his absence as the stranger watched impatiently.
They thought they recognized me as someone they knew, but it was a tiny misunderstanding.
You son of a bitch! Oh my god, he's gaslighting us. Liz theoretically as well as literally put her foot down at that, stomping in frustration and getting more childish the longer she was around her childhood companion.
Come on.
We do know you.
Shiloh merely shrunk in on himself. The tone he spoke with was pained.
Sorry.
You honestly couldn't tell if he was apologizing for the upset feelings of your sister or the palpable dissatisfaction of his new acquaintance that in itself was very Shiloh-like.
Oh, you know him. Is that it?
Name 5 of his albums. The stranger spoke in dismissively scoffing tone, as if the words sounded so absurd to him. It was almost amusing. Almost. But the sternness of his demeanor quickly reinstated itself.
Well, do you know me? I'll tell you. I'm someone who has been forced against his will to be aware of what's going on in Shiloh's ridiculous personal life for a year.
The fuck does that mean?
If the two of you had any importance in his general today existence, it would have come up by now.
What the fuck?
Don't bother trying to exaggerate any trivial connection you might have. It's not good enough. He's with us, and you'll survive without him. Now stop loitering on the road. It's rude.
Shiloh, you need me to fucking throw hands with someone? Like, just say the word.
We're the rude ones?
The high-strung ranting got an audible gasp from Shiloh, who finally started to speak up again in defense.
Nate, that's really mean.
All right, Nate, come here. I'm gonna kick your ass.
It's also true. We're leaving.
With that declaration, the unofficially intruded Nate indigently spun on his heels and walked speedily towards where the group went, completely confident that Shiloh would follow behind.
Oh, people can sure have bad attitudes, huh? Why can't they just try to get along? It's not hard. Don't worry though. I bet you won't have to deal with him again. And I'm sorry I can't stay to talk to you, but I hope you have a really nice life.
What the fuck, Shiloh? I thought we were friends.
Bye.
What the fuck? And that was it. His final parting words given. Shiloh left the two of you behind to catch up with his own life that he had to live. Liz watched his exit stunned, only to frown when it hit her that he was really gone as quickly as he appeared. It happened so fast you hadn't even been able to get a word in. She sighed, all the energy she built up releasing with the breath.
I could have told him his last name was Fields. His birthday is October 30th. That would have proved it, but no.
I'm not dumb. I think something's happening. Whoever Nate is, he sucks. He was so unnecessarily unpleasant when all you wanted was to talk to someone for a moment. Why aren't you running after him? I mean, there's no use. Liz merely shook her head, pushing off childish thoughts.
I think we can leave it there. Thanks. He's in the middle of a high school field trip, and it was already enough being able to see him. There's something reassuring about witnessing firsthand that he's still out there, enjoying his own part of the world.
Yeah, that's fair.
Though, if given the chance, I could definitely have a few words with him about the company he's got.
She laughed, but you could tell there wasn't much humor to it. She was mad at the guy, even if she was happy to let Shiloh go. Maybe they're only with each other because of the trip, and it's not usually how things are.
Right?
True. We can only hope the same for him as you did for us. Have a nice life, Shiloh.
Yeah. Have a good life. Liz smiled at you. It had the self-confidence you knew so well from her.
Come on, kid. Let's finish our own trip.
Yeah. No matter how either of you really felt about the occurrence, it was something you simply had to accept. People you know just disappear and reappear in the most unexpected ways. I hope that's not it. Now I'm fucking sad again. The two of you enjoyed what remained of your outing until it was time to return home. By the time you arrived back, the sun was already beginning to set. You arched your back as you stretched your arms towards the ceiling. While it had been a good day, it had been enough activity to cover an entire week. Liz tried to hide a yawn behind her hands. You weren't the only one feeling worn out.
I'll be heading up to your room. I mean, the guest room, since mine stopped being available as soon as I was out the door.
Oh, I stole her room. Her tone was light. She'd had quite a lot to say on the subject when you'd first taken over her bigger room after she left for college, but there have been many trips back home for her since then. The room hasn't been hers for years. It was more of a running joke now that she continued to bring the topic up to this day. That happened to me when I moved out. My brother took my room, and then when I slept over, I got his little shitty room with his like shitty broken bed.
Gosh.
Just want to follow in my big sister's shoes.
Flattery as a compliment can... Flattery as a compliment can only get you so far, Ruby.
A small laugh was shared between you and your older sister.
Mm-hmm.
You better believe you'll be back in the guest room when you've got your own place and we're both in town for a visit.
Nice. You'll have Thanksgiving, I'll get Christmas.
What a reasonable and mature suggestion. I'll think about it. I'll think about accepting it.
She flashed her familiar grin, and you couldn't help but feel glad she was back around even if it was temporary. With that, she plodded off to the spare room. You were ready to do the same. Moving into a new space was your first opportunity to decorate from scratch. Oh, I love that. Yeah! Yeah, let's fucking go! We get to design a room. Oh my god. Okay. Whew. Oh, these are like... Ooh. Okay, I like the beds with like drawers under them. So I might go for this one. But I like the computer desk here. Oh, I can't put extras in that one? Huh.
Oh.
It's like set already, I guess. Huh. Let's see, what extras can I put here? Oh, I guess some of them have extras and some of them don't. Oh, damn it, I like the computer. There's a laptop. Like, okay, I guess I had a laptop in my room when I was in when I graduated at first. I didn't have a PC till way later, so let's do that. I already read the Hat Glued to Head. Okay. I had trophies and I read books, so we'll keep that. Window. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff. I like this. Okay, I'm not good at taking care of plants. Put books there. Walls. Put that. Okay, it's just that. Oh, or lights. Let's put this stuff hung up. Okay, floor.
on the seal.
I love that. It's so good. But plants are good at taking care of you. Yeah, well, they won't be taking care of me long once they die because I fucking forget to water them. Yeah, I don't fuck with any of those. Okay, I think this is my room. This is good. You're really satisfied with the feel of your tiny part of the room. As your thoughts drifted, you tried to bite down on another yawn. It was no good. Your bed was now lodged in your mind, and all you could think about was collapsing on it. You trudged up the stairs to your room. Yeah, it's my room. Stepping inside, you closed the door behind you, blocking the rest of the house. When you turned back around, you realized you were not alone there. Comfortably perched on the windowsill was someone very familiar to you. Ah, he's my boyfriend! He's so cute! Oh, I love his necklace. His hair grew out so much. Hi! Cove Holden. Huh? He's so
Surprise.
cute. Oh. His tone was easy and relaxed. It certainly was a surprise. You hadn't expected him to be within the state, never mind your own house. He hadn't answered how he had suddenly just appeared back in Sunset Bird, though, to be fair. You had been... Sorry, I thought there was a bug. You had been so astounded here, there hadn't been much of an opportunity for him to chat with you. Thankfully, Cove was only waiting for a good moment to start and began to explain.
So,
His voice got so much deeper!
Yeah. I got it about 15 minutes ago. Lynn was home, so I figured I'd come in the usual way.
So you just waited like 15 minutes on my windowsill? The window.
Yeah.
A small smile had formed on his face. You were still staring at him, unable to blink in case he disappeared. You could still barely believe that he was really there, mere feet away from you.
I left my bags in your backyard. I hope that's alright.
That was when you truly understood. Cove had come straight to you upon getting back to town. You were his first port of call, taking precedence above all else. Aw. Even though you hadn't been in when he called, Cove had ensured that he'd see you at the earliest opportunity rather than allowing his plans to change. I did run to him. Every second away from him was a moment too long. As you approached, Cove quickly hopped from the windowsill to meet you. I'll hug him. Can't believe my eyes. I missed you. Bone-crushing hug. Cove squeaked as your hug knocked the air out of him. He awkwardly managed to wrap his own arms around your back in return. Oh, he's so cute. Then Cove leaned back on his heels, pulling you into the air. Ah! He leaned as much as he could to lift you up, the height difference helping him out. He spun you around, your legs kicking against empty air, before setting you safely back down.
I missed you too.
Even if he hadn't said it outright, you would have gotten the message from his body language. Cove was grinning wildly, his raised cheeks burying his eyes, which gleamed like hidden gems. But he looked at you as if you were the most exciting treasure of all. Obviously, was the trip any good? Cove's brows creased as he considered your question. Cove stepped towards you. He cupped your face with his hands, gently guiding your chin, so your eyes met his. You could feel the beat of your racing pulse against his fingertips.
I hated
Aww,
it.
what
Wanna be
happened?
apart again, okay?
You good, bud? He said that absolutely as a joke, an exaggeration, something that wasn't a real request, of course. And yet, despite all that, it felt real. Your heart hammered in your chest. Your head swam, cast adrift on a tide of thoughts and adrenaline. Cove smiled as if offering a silent apology for his sudden onslaught of tenderness, but he let the words proudly hang in the air all the same. Cove told you about how his trip back had gone. Soon you'd even recovered enough to actually listen. His mom was doing really well. She had a project in the works that she was thrilled about. As a result, Cove was going to be sticking around in Sunset Bird for the time being. Things were settled, as much as they ever could be. With Cove back once more, you felt at ease. Cove stretched his arms out over his head, his eyes on the window and the world beyond. The sun had set while you had been busy reuniting.
well,
I should probably get my stuff and see Dad.
Yeah. He glanced over to you with a familiar, expectant look.
Wanna come with me?
Fuck yeah. You know I do.
Cool.
Cove began to head to your bedroom door. Piggyback ride! We always do this now. Wait up, I need a ride. It's so cute. Cove shook his head, the smile on his face implying that it was you and your senses he was questioning, not the request. He'd come to expect the latter, even if he didn't get why it held such appeal to you.
All right.
Yay! Piggyback ride! He crouched low enough for you to hop on his back. Cove was so tall that getting on his back for rides had taken some trial and error over the years, with a few mishaps and bumps along the way. Eventually, he figured out exactly how far he needed to bend down. This understanding and your extensive practice made it easy for you to climb aboard the Cove Express now. Cove straightened up with a poise, accustomed to balancing someone over his shoulders. Cove carried you down the stairs. You had to duck down a couple times, the ceiling grazing against your elevated head. Still, you safely reached the ground floor of your house.
The door's gonna be in the way. Get off here so I can open
No,
it.
I can open it. He bent down to let you slide safely off his back. Seeing things from your usual height was disorienting after getting accustomed to looking down at everything. In all the excitement of Cove's return, you hadn't even remembered the gift you'd prepared for when he got back. It would be best to give it to him now before he left your house. Can you wait here for a little while? I got something for you. Cove tilted his head, intrigued.
Really?
Yeah. You nodded with some eagerness, trying to imagine how he'd react when he actually saw it. The gift you'd chosen hadn't been something you could buy. I'm not good at making gifts. I bought him something. It was... Aww. Okay, so I don't just want to say I kept a fish around.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I know it's special. I don't think I'd get him a balloon, though. It says strawberry swirl ice cream cups. You left Cove by the door as you headed over to the freezer. You retrieved the case of ice cream tubs from the freezer, dusted off a fine spray of ice in the process. These were something you knew well. The man at the park that day had handed these out to all the attendees, but this was a gift intended for only one. You returned to Cove and held the present out to him. Aw, he's doing his cute smile again. Cove clutched a hand to his mouth as he tried to stifle a laugh. You'd taken him by surprise, that was fair. It wasn't often that people gifted each other with boxes of ice cream swirls, but you hadn't been able to resist when you spotted this familiar box for sale. The cold pinched at your fingers, but you ignored the thoughts preoccupied. Blech. The treats brought back memories of a day spent on food, fireworks, family, and friends. And you struggled not to think about where Cove stood in that grouping. He was far more than a friend. He wasn't officially family, but he was someone who potentially could be one day. You hoped Cove didn't ask why you were blushing. Enjoy your look, Aaron. Thank you.
I've been craving these recently, and it's the strawberry ones too. My favorite type. How did you know?
I was there, asshole. You chuckled, pleased that he appeared to have made the connection. I had a feeling. He lifted the nostalgic box from your hands and looked it over. It wasn't a flashy container. It was made of brown cardboard and printed in black ink. You didn't think they'd updated their packaging in all that time. It was lucky, really. Anything more would have made it less likely for Cove to recognize it for what it was.
There's a lot in here. I'll be sure to share.
There was a flirtatious lilt to his voice. You both knew that he wasn't talking about simply throwing a tub or two your way. That was a reference to the way you had shared as kids, but you weren't kids now. Being fed spoonfuls of ice cream by your boyfriend hadn't been part of your original reasoning for getting that gift, though you had no objections with it. Okay.
You're really seriously too nice to me.
No way. You smiled back. You had no right to call anyone else too nice. Cove brushed his hand against the pale ghost of a scar on his arm. He was at a loss for words, lost for what to do now. The clock ticked away, continuing the seconds of silence. Once you had a chance to settle your thoughts, you figured you'd tell Cove the intriguing news. I have to tell you, you're never going to guess who I saw today. You didn't give Cove a chance to reply. There seriously was no way that he'd figure it out. Shiloh!
Huh?
Please tell me you remember Shiloh. Cove repeated the name, his expression blank. From when we were kids? Cove pondered for a moment, then snapped his fingers.
Oh, he was the freckly boy from that first summer, right? One who moved?
Yeah, the one you were mean to all the time. The guy was named Shiloh, and he looked just like Shiloh from back then, even wearing a hat still. But he had no idea who I was and ran off somewhere. Cove frowned.
That's, I don't know. Too bad I missed it. Though you knew him better than I did.
That was definitely true. Not only had Cove known Shiloh for a shorter period of time, but he and Shiloh had never quite gotten along. Not that they were enemies either, just kids who were only ever together because of other people they both knew.
I wonder what Shiloh's up to these days.
I don't have any idea. He didn't say much.
Oh.
Oh well.
That was everything you had on the news item, so you moved on to the next big update. Also, you know the mean old neighbors, the ones who would always yell at us? He cringed, recalling those peculiar memories of back in the day was not pleasant, even for someone as nostalgic as him.
Yeah.
They're not coming. They didn't rent the condo this summer. Cove's jaw dropped. You didn't blame him. The elderly couple had been an institution for as far back as you could remember, long predating Cove's arrival. Even now, as a teenager, you found your neck prickling as you walked by their condo, half expecting a scolding for breathing the wrong way in the vicinity of their vacation home. It was strange to think of that coming to an end.
Wow.
Cove blinked, clearly struggling with the idea in the same way you had.
I didn't see that coming. People being gone, people coming back. It feels like I've missed a lot. This has been a busy summer already.
Well, you haven't missed the fireflies. They haven't shown up yet.
Well, that's something. We better not get left behind. There's still stuff to do.
You nodded. As soon as you'd left your house, Cove bent down to let you climb back onto his back. Yeah! For the last part of the journey. It seemed that no sooner had the night begun than it was already at an end, and the dawn of a new day was soon upon you. The next morning, your belly was full of breakfast, and you were in a pleasant mood. You hoped the rest of the day followed suit. Later, you were meeting up with your friends, Cove, Miranda, and Terry, to go into town. It was all on short notice, but that was because everyone was just so excited that Cove was finally back home.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no worries.
I might have to go in like 5-ish minutes. That's okay.
That's okay. We can stop here if you want.
Okay, yeah, because I think that's like a pretty good stopping point.
Yeah, it's like the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we'll end it here. We did get to part 3. It was not clickbait.
Yeah, it was not quick.
We were serious this time, guys.
We committed.
We committed. Let's go. Part 3 hype. And we'll start, I guess, choices probably next time, if not the time after that. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm so glad to be so far in, and we're official with Cove now. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but yeah, we're officially dating Cove. It's so cute.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for the resubs today. Thank you, Daisy, again for the raid. And if anyone's new here and not already in the Discord, here we go. Yeah, join the Discord. I post when I'm live. I post my schedules. We chat and post pet pictures, and this is a chill community. So yeah, if you feel like joining, hell yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna end off here. I also have to get up super early tomorrow. And I still have to eat. So thank you, Belle, for hanging out with me today.
No worries. I had fun.
I had fun too. All right, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.